Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the International Bigfoot 10-Ball Challenge. Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. This event is a Pat Fleming production, and it's brought to you by Accu-Stats. We're in the Simonis Aramuth Arena at the Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel, our most gracious hosts here, going on 4 years. We want to thank them once again for their hospitality. We want to once again thank Diamond Billiard Products for being the official table of all the international events, and for the Bigfoot Challenge providing us this beautiful 5x10 with a one-piece slate and pro-cut pockets. 16 champions have entered this event. They're not all left, but we're still playing it down. It's single elimination. We'll have a champion tomorrow. It's now my pleasure to introduce our two competitors. From Russia, this gentleman is a world 9-ball champion. He's sponsored by Q-Tech. Would you please welcome Fedor Gorst. Thank you. His opponent's from Canada. The only man in history to hold all 3 Derby City crowns, 1-pocket banks, and 9-ball, and master of the table, which he's done more than once. No one else can claim that. And also, just a short time ago, he was honored with his induction into the BCA Hall of Fame in a well-deserved honor. It's the Lion, sponsored by 3 Seconds Cases, Alex Pagulayan. Okay, thanks everybody. Your official timekeeper is John Baker. Now my pleasure to send it upstairs to the commentary booth to the voice of Accu-Stats, Billy Incardona, and USA Mosconi Cup captain, Double J, Jeremy Jones. Take it away up there, guys.
Well, thank you, Kenny, and what a treat we have in store with these two, really the future of the game, and a timeless player now at, I think, about 42 years old, Alex Pagulayan, but still a guy that's arguably in his prime and looking to still win big titles, huh, Billy?
Absolutely. I think that you can stay in your prime until you're almost 50 in this game for some reason. It just, you know, but like you said, this guy here, Alex Pagulayan, what can you say that he hasn't already set at the table? What a great player he is. Okay,
watch that side rail break. I kind of felt like he was going to go to that immediately. And watch, you know, how often that it's no coincidence from the side of the table he breaks from. Watch how the object balls end up on that side of the table when you use a second the side rail break. You'll notice the other side of the table very clear, and you'll see that a lot with the guys, like I said, breaking from the side rail. And I'm not sure exactly what the mathematical scheme is for that, how they all end up on that same side, but it seems like it happens a lot.
Do you think he's aware of that as well?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you know, there's a reason why, just not only making balls, but Alex wants the layouts to be as difficult as possible. So kind of like a second ball break, playing 8-ball maybe on the 7-foot table. There's a little insurance involved, just in case you don't make one, or, you know, you have to roll out. A little easier to roll out whenever the ball's laid tough.
Well, you would think a player with an inferior break would opt to break him in that fashion. Then, make sure that he gets back to the table, or actually increases his chances of getting back to the table.
Yeah, and very surprised that Fedor didn't take that kick shot, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was a very tough hit. And I actually commented during last match with Shane and Levan that Alex was in the stands watching most of that match. And I guarantee you he saw Shane struggle with, dry breaks, and he also saw Levan struggle. And then Levan went to the side rail, in the latter half of the match and made some balls. So,
yeah, well, he started breaking them with a closed bridge and breaking them harder than he was with that open bridge from the center of the table. When he fell behind by a couple games late in the match, he said, well, I got to change something here. So obviously I think that's what he did. He tried to change it up a little bit, but a little too late on making that adjustment.
Very calculated shot there, and it's just about all he had to squeeze the cue ball between the 9 and 2, getting at the 1, and just kind of knew the cue ball was going to kiss those 2 balls and kind of go to the rail. I think a little fortunate the 10 came up and cut off a piece of the 1. Alex still has the top of the 1. But Alex wants these early exchanges. Of course, we all want to break and run out, but that's one thing. He doesn't want to make it, let's just say, heavy blow after heavy blow against Fedor. He doesn't want it to be a slugfest of just breaking runs. He wants some maneuvering going on.
Yeah, which was indicative of how he broke the balls, like you said, from the side rail.
Right.
So let's see what happens here. Now, Fedor Gorst, like I mentioned to you before the telecast here, I've never really watched him play. You, on the other hand, know him quite well because you're the captain of the Mosconi Cup team, and you've seen him play quite a bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, and not only in competition, but I got to watch him train a lot in Russia. Spent a couple weeks there, 2 different years, and one thing that I reflect when it comes to him, especially, and I talk about him a lot to different players and different people I help with their pool game, is he really relies on his reps, meaning it's not just quantity of practice, it's very good quality of practice that he has. And you'll notice when he faces a tough shot, I can tell he recognizes it's a tough shot, but he really relies on what he's done in the practice room to get him through those situations. And it's really fun to watch.
Well, then you're trying to say, if I'm understanding this correctly, he does work on his weaknesses then with that type of
yeah,
regimen.
There's nothing he doesn't work on. And like I said, it's very much quality of practice,
right,
along with quantity of practice. Now a little bit on top of the cue ball. He just caught on top of the 2 ball. He just caught the 1 a little thick to the pocket, so he kind of drew the ball a little better than he thought. I think he was really trying to play the 2 in the lower right corner. Now safety kind of cutting the 2 past the pink a little bit, trying to kill the cue ball. Not bad.
And it looks like he may have a channel or a path between the 9 and the 4 to contact the 2.
Or do you just play can't really make the cue ball escape, so maybe he just gets enough of the 2 he can, maybe puts a hair right English and let the 2 come up. Yeah, and maybe go bump the 6. Maybe bump the 6 to slow the cue ball down is kind of what I see.
Yeah, he's in a really tough situation here. Exactly what you said. He mishit it a little bit, but looks like he's going to get fairly decent results with the shot. Now, if Alex can see the 2 the outside of the 2, not much he can do other than to go,
feather it, maybe go the end rail.
Go to the end rail, maybe even perhaps behind the 3.
He's sizing this 9 ball up.
Yeah. From our vantage point, it's difficult to determine whether or not that's on or not.
I think he's playing your shot now, just feathering the 2, trying to use a little distance. Oh, he used the 9 as well, so pretty crafty.
Yeah, that's good. The 9 impeding the progress of the 2, which enabled him to keep the 2 ball behind the 9. Nicely executed. Now Gorst steps to the table with a very difficult shot here. He can kick to the
Side of the 7,
side
right?
of the 7. That's a much bigger target from that angle. I don't know if in fact that's the best route to take for a safety.
Well,
But you got to figure out what's the easiest hit though.
yeah, and that's the one thing is you can't get past, this isn't your home pool room table. This isn't one of the outer tables a hair more broke in. This is very slick cloth. So, it's almost, like something we take for granted, the guys being able to hit the ball. It's what they're going to do with it. But I think when you get on this table, we've seen a lot of kicks missed, and that really shows you how tough the slick felt is to gauge. So I think a good solid hit here, hoping the cue ball kind of comes down with the 2, maybe gets to the end rail.
I like a soft speed here like that. I like a soft speed. That'll give him his best chance of walking away with in decent shape. Not that time.
Well, not only that, the soft speed really led towards a little more accuracy hitting the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Alex, who many consider the best with the bridge as far as the pool players are concerned.
Well, coming from Canada, that's understandable and also his height as well, because he probably had to use the bridge more often than most players. And coming from Canada, they use the bridge a lot because they play snooker.
Right.
And they're much more adept at using the bridge than the American players, or for that matter, probably the Europeans as well.
Yeah, and something I talked to Alex about, he said he just really went through about a 3 or 4 month period where it was a part of his practice routine. The bridge was, meaning he, not just when a shot came up, he just literally put it in his hand and put in some hours. Well, that stroke there was a pretty nice one. It's going to fall a hair short. The 4 obviously doesn't pass the 6. So now with the decision here, he can cut the 4, go into the 6. It's a little dangerous, though. It looks like the cue ball may want to carry through the 6 and maybe towards that corner. All right, he's
playing the safety here, trying to position the cue ball behind the 10, the 4 up by the 7, the brown 7, that is. He's got to go.
Yeah,
he got a little lazy with that shot.
Yeah, it's going to keep him cut off a little, but if Fedor can get past the side, he'll play a mild one, I think, here. Just laying the cue ball behind the 7, going as full as he can on the 4, getting it to the end rail. Interesting rules we're playing here. Not as much value in the safety when you don't play call shot. So that's one thing. You'll see the guys try to stay aggressive, but also at the same time, there's not as much worry, I think. And what I'm getting at is no jump cues allowed. So, that's something in today's game. When you're playing safe, you have to be very aware of the object ball in today's game much more. And especially with a guy like Fedor Gorst, who's so great with the jump cue.
Yeah, I'm old school, and I really like that rule, no jump cues. Because back in the day, we didn't have jump cues, and the safety became one of the, our big weapons in defense. And with jump cues, when the jump cues came into play later on, I thought it was really unfair that I could play a real good safety and not get rewarded for it.
Yeah, and especially like I was taught on playing safe, so like a lot of times you don't weld them to the ball because you want to cut off a rail. So you lay them on the rail behind the ball to cut that rail off. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't do that as much now because the guys can go right over the ball, right? So you have to retrain a little bit what your instincts are on playing safe, and you really got to think about it. Now, one thing, the jump cue, I think is an exciting part of the game. The one I would probably, kind of tailor-made make the jump cue, maybe taper off how effective it can be. I would like to see it like something like, you got 3 a match. That way, when you use one, you only got 2 left. You just don't want to use it for every shot. Oh, I'm not just going to roll out over here every shot, knowing that, hey, I'm using one of my chances to use a jump cue.
Yeah, well, that would be a compromise, but I don't know. It just seems like if they're allowed to use the jump cue, then it's part of the game.
Yeah. Well, there's been some other entertaining thoughts. Now I think he got partially snookered here, but another one that may be good is you can only use it on the incoming shot. If you snooker yourself, you can't just pull out the jump cue after playing a poor position shot and escape so easily.
Yeah, that would be more fair.
Yeah, I think there's ways you can still keep the jump cue, but just don't make it so powerful, and take away actually some of the good parts of the game.
You don't want the jump cue to be an award for poor play.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one that, this is almost kind of like an instance that I was talking about earlier, where you'll see Fedor's process on how he wants to shoot the shot. You'll see him look at it from here one more time, and then he always goes to look behind the ball before he takes the last shot. See him go look the 5 to the hole, right? Then he comes, and I can believe me, this is what he does every shot, practicing as well. So he believes in that, and then just delivers the stroke.
What a player he is. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hard to be world champion at 21 without some discipline and, of course, some talent. But you can see he just, like I said, same process. And no matter the tough shot or not, this is obviously not that tough of a shot, and he really relies on it under pressure. He feels like that's what's going to, get him across the finish line much more than him trying to process so much, right? Just go back to his reps.
Yeah, that's his method of playing. If it works, stay with it. And like you said, even though the simplest runouts may appear the simplest runouts, he still follows exactly what he does. He in preparation to play his next ball.
Yeah, and some would say almost machine-like, but I don't see that either. I see very much a lot of feel in his stroke, a lot of thought, but still, like I said, just kind of trust his process that he goes through in practice. And Fedor Gorst, after many exchanges early in the rack, comes away with game 1.
And he's a tall player too. I mean, he must be like 6'2", 6'3", or
yeah, something. He's a tall guy. I'm not so sure he's even done growing. Seems like he gets taller.
Yeah.
Now we'll see Fedor. He's like Shane. He has one of not quite as much power on the break, but very effective from the center of the table breaking 10 ball. Now,
you attribute that to the accuracy of the hit, then.
Well, that, and he's just a student of some things. Like one common denominator, or the most common denominator, in my opinion, on the great breakers of 10 ball is the follow-through. So watch how he extends through the rack. Now, he's played a lot of 10 ball matches of late to where they used a triangle instead of the template, and he really developed a side rail break. I kind of feel like he's going to the center here, though.
Which he has.
So watch the cue stick, of course, how far it follows through, almost to the center of the table. And you'll see the same from Shane, same from Tyler, and all the great 10-ball breakers.
Johnny Archer as well.
Yeah. See, big extension. Awful kiss on the cue ball. And he didn't make one either. Not the best hit on the 1, so he'll want to remedy that.
Very quick, let's take a look to see where the balls are actually positioned in terms of any problem areas out there that he needs to negotiate now before he gets going.
Not too much. Of course, this shot sets up the rack. Getting good on the 2 makes a lot, to fall on the 3 much easier. That's got to go a little bit. Yeah. And
it falls slightly on the wrong side of the 2.
Slightly is right. He's going to be a little thinner on the 3 than he wanted.
Yeah, and the 4-ball position nearly in the center of the table.
Good thing for him on the 4 is he's got multiple pockets. So he's going to try and get between the 4-7, I think, here with the cue ball. Takes a good follow-through stroke. Could end up over the 7. Could end up behind the 7. That's why I was saying that's a dangerous shot early in the match. You have to make sure you get through the ball. If you quiver a little bit, the ball kind of bounces off the 2 ball to the left a little bit and doesn't really grab.
Well, I think that the newness of the table,
the slick felt, right?
Yeah, okay, it attributes to somewhat the results of that particular shot. I mean, had they been playing a little bit longer on this table, it probably would have went straight across as opposed to sliding, like you say.
Well, I'll tell you another thing. That was, again, the result of that one ball that he had ball in hand on.
I need 5 ball in hands every game.
Exactly.
One is not enough.
Okay, he's got a little sliver of the 3. Don't really know what he could shoot at here, though. Doesn't have enough of it to really control much, especially from so far away, Billy. I would love to just get a little separation here. Let the 3 come up to the middle of the table maybe and get the cue ball to the in rail in between the 8 and 5. Or I don't know. I mean, do you try to make the 8 here if you're just, you know? I mean, this is tough.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Curve your ball maybe?
and we don't really know from our vantage point how much of the 3 he can hit.
Well, I'm kind of looking down it, and it looks very, very little, very small portion of the 3 he can get at.
Well, in this type of a situation when there's no certainty of where the 3
You might
is going to
kick,
go,
huh?
I think you're better off just cutting the 3 in, maybe playing that 3
Into the 8?
No, cutting the 3 by the 10 and trying to pocket the 3.
Yeah, maybe make the 8 with the
Yeah,
cue ball,
exactly.
right?
So
Yeah.
therefore you got to.
This is what I saw. Maybe curve at the 3 and try and hit it full to bank it up.
Okay, that way you can go behind the 8.
Yeah,
that way.
maybe something good will happen. This is what I was talking about. Maybe just get some type of separation, right?
And there we saw the value of that particular method that he chose. In other words, he hit the 3 ball fully, slowing up the cue ball, but getting distance with the 3. And as a plus, you can find out the position behind a ball, like he did there, behind the 8 somewhat.
Yeah, creating a little luck, you call it.
Yeah. But it's really not that much luck.
No,
I think it's
no.
more.
Yeah,
I think it's a residue of skill myself.
Yeah, maybe it's the same scenario here. Doesn't have a whole lot of the 3. He could bank the 3 up towards the 4 and drop the cue ball on the end rail. This is where the 10-footer plays a little different than the 9-footer, right? Making guys come off the end rail whenever you don't have much of anything else. I wouldn't go overboard here. Like I said, I'd just bank the 3 up towards the 4 and the 7 and just put them on the end rail.
Just like you mentioned.
Yeah, a little heavy with the cue ball, though. He was worried about getting the 3 past the side pocket, and he's let Fedor cue the ball a little bit.
Right. Resting that cue ball on or near that rail is really the key to that particular shot.
That's right.
So therefore, you really don't want to put too much emphasis on the object ball, more so on the cue ball in that instance. Leaving distance on a 5x10 is a pretty good weapon in itself.
Same thing here, just like that 5 ball. Game number 1. Yeah, just super solid.
Yeah.
And one thing he does, I'm sorry, Billy, is what he relies on is just releasing the cue. You know, when you're in stroke, you don't really think about a whole lot. You go through your process, and just he trusts what's going to come naturally. Doesn't really try to hardly ever guide the cue stick on the way down, which under pressure is like the key, in my opinion.
Well, anything is more of a robotic type of thing than, in other words, it's the same all the time.
Right.
There's nothing.
But that's an athletic swing to me. You know, that's an athletic motion. Like in other sports, they don't steer it or short arm it. You know, they say in football and baseball and basketball, it's kind of the same thing in pool. I've always found that it's a weird combination, but the better players, when pressure's on, they tend to have a problem and they under-hit the ball. Where amateurs, when pressure's on, they over-hit the ball. And you'll find that in every sport. Really, they say it all the time when I watch the golf. When the pressure's on, those pros don't get the putts to the hole. And it's kind of the same thing here. You get a little guidey, the pros do at times, when the heat's really on. But not this guy too often.
Well, he does the same thing all the time, so therefore there really isn't, any uncommonness of what he needs to do.
And he's a guy that, relies on the stun a hair more, but I think that used to be a bit more. He's actually gotten to where a little more fluid at times when he needs it. Now he's going to maybe work the ball a little straightish here. I'm surprised he came down that far. Usually he would play for that nice angle to chip the ball in and come down the table.
And now he's going to have a nice fluid stroke here going through the ball. Little right hand English, showing 2 cushions down.
Yeah, this is where the slick table, you want to stay smooth. That way it doesn't hug too much, kind of hydraulic a little bit, and it'll actually roll out nice for you. You overhit that a little bit, it kind of hugs, and it actually works against you as far as moving the cue ball. Now, it wasn't just but a few months ago that I saw Alex hit a gear that I haven't seen him hit in a long, long time. And playing Fedor was a couple of those matches that he did hit that gear in Iowa. He played about 5 or 6 matches in a row and won the tournament. That was just kind of unreal the way he played.
Alex, it is?
Yeah, so very familiar, these two guys. And quickly now 2-0. We're here at the Q-Tech, the 2021 International Open Bigfoot Challenge. It's a single elimination race to 11 between these 16 that started. We lost 5 players yesterday. We're going to lose another 5 today.
One thing I noticed about this rotate the break format is that you really can't afford to fall too far behind because you can't string racks.
Right.
So therefore, Pagulayan now is 2 games behind. Not that he's not going to try it hard regardless of the score, but the thing is that puts a little more pressure on you.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's a lot more pressure on Pagulayan to respond here, falling 2-0 behind.
All right, he broke from the other rail. Now watch where the balls end up. If they end up on the same side that he broke from. Watch. You see? You see they're all on that side of the table, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's amazing how that happens, which I learned that a long time ago when we toyed around with the 10-ball break with the Camel Tour, that, you know, he wants that congestion, he wants them to lay tough, but at some time or another you have to realize your opponent's a very good player. Like, he knows the safeties, he knows the kicks and all that, so maybe Alex has got to change and look to probably try and break and run some racks during his break.
Not only that, and you're correct, not only that, it seems to it would be a contradiction to what you need to do, especially if you're behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want the balls to open up well. You want the balls to lay where you make a ball you can get out.
Well, great cross corner bank there. But I totally agree. You know, most of the players in this event, you're not going to, you may outwit them in a long run, but we're talking about a race to 11 here. You're not, you know, Alex is going to outwit most players in the long run, but is outwitting him going to overcome, you know, Fedor running a rack here and there when you're not, you know, so. Okay.
I think more important is to get out with your break if you happen to pocket a ball in the break. And with what he's doing here, he's making his outs play a lot more difficult, which is really, you know.
Yeah, he's putting a lot on himself.
Yeah.
So, do you draw the ball down the side rail here towards the A?
Yeah, I would think so. That seems to be an open path. No
and kind of pinch
there.
it a little bit, slow draw the ball.
Nicely executed as well. Little bump here.
Yeah, but never was really in too much trouble. That bump just kind of improved things. Now, he can hold for the side very easily. He can put a little top inside and come around. I would probably hold for the side myself.
Yeah,
now, the one alarming thing is the 7 doesn't pass the 9.
Yeah.
So you can't get that angle on the 6 where you're going into the 10.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to go forward here.
Well, he needs some inside English,
with left-hand English, you know. He's at the table. I think he's going for the side here, though.
Yeah, I like the side. I mean, very minimal cue ball movement. He may have to, go a little forward, but
looks like he's on the wrong side of the 6 there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If he could have placed the ball in hand, he would have placed it under the 6, where after contacting the 6, he would have been gone up table with the cue ball. He can't do that from where he is now.
Well, the one thing is the inside English kind of got away from him here in the last game, right? So doesn't want to cue it with a ton. Doesn't need a ton. He can always work the ball off the 7, like here. He stayed away from the inside.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't either, because it doesn't improve you a ton, and it really does make it a missable ball on that slick
Absolutely,
felt.
yeah,
So,
right. Puts a lot more uncertainty into the hit.
straight draw, just one rail. Shouldn't try to catch two rails.
Yeah, no English.
Yeah, straight draw. It's a shot you got to learn. That way you come off, you go into the in rail and come off the same line, right? That straight draw.
Plus, with the contact, it puts natural English on the ball anyway.
Yeah, exactly, a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna want to keep a nice angle on the 9 would be where the 8 ball is now. That way, all you need to do is go to the side pocket to the left of where he is now. He'll just go to the side pocket. I would think so, unless he goes straight out.
He's not going to cross the line here. He'll hit about the third diamond up the side of rail right before the side. I don't think getting through this nice, tough rack and needing to get on the board, he wants to test his speed here. I wouldn't.
No,
not at all.
This is really simple here. Right to the side pocket.
Oh, he did.
Well, he did.
Watch out. Easy to spread too long. On the slick felt, a lot of people stay away from that shot.
I don't blame them. And I myself would have played to the side. It's all natural playing for the side pocket. I was surprised he played it like that.
Yeah.
He needed that whole pocket there, by the way.
Alex Pagulayan now on the board, 2-1. It's a race to 11 here in the Bigfoot International Challenge. Fedor Gorst to break in game number 4.
Getting back to the way he played shape on the 9, or the 10, I should say, that he realized, Jeremy, that if he drew the ball with the type of strokes that he normally draws that particular type of shot with, exactly where the cue ball was going to go.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's pretty consistent there.
Well, I think it was a little bit of him saying, hey, I want to get to cueing well also. I think that stroke actually might lean towards what he's thinking about in the future of this match. He wants to hit the ball very well and maybe not be rolling it around. But I'll tell you, Billy, on the slick felt, if you're off a hair on that type of shot, it can easily get away from you and get past that 10 and make a very awkward shot on the 10. That's why you'll see a lot of times, like in the Moscone, the slickest table on earth. We'll play and tell guys a lot of times you really just want to be coasting into that position when you can, like you were talking about, just going to that side rail and kind of coming towards the 10 a little bit. Maybe a little further away, but...
Especially if it's natural. In other words, if it's natural to fall short of the side pocket, around the third diamond, 3.5 diamonds up the rail. If it's natural, which you can feel if it's natural or not, I think that's the best route to take.
I think he's supposed to take on the 2-10 here. I
The
think
10 looks like it's frozen, but everything
No,
is...
it's off a little bit. It's awful. It's a hanger kind of on this table, believe it or not, Billy. And the pocket plays pretty big.
Well, then why don't he just take it on the 110? He's got ball in hand.
Yeah, that's okay. He's got to squeeze it behind there a little bit, but I agree with that as well.
If he's going to... I play shape for the 2 as opposed for the combination if I'm gonna pocket the 1.
I'll tell you what, the 210's pretty easy. I may play the 110 like you were talking about. That gives you a lot of room for error with ball in hand especially.
And then also you can position the cue ball behind the 8 with the combination.
I wouldn't get too involved in that.
I understand, but still, I mean, if it's free, why not?
All right, he's going to play position on the 2 in the side. So is he coming 2 rails in between the 5-6, dropping downward to the end rail?
That's where he's playing here.
Yeah.
It looks like it at least.
Yeah, nice shot.
He's going for the corner, maybe.
He's in a good spot.
Okay.
May have gotten a little straightish, so he's going to have to be a little thinner on the 5 than he maybe wanted, but... Oh, he's going with a high ball. Wow, where's he going with the cue ball? Huh? He looks... I mean, there's not a ton of angle here to be moving to the top side of the 5 with a high ball. Now he's cueing low. Okay, that makes more sense to me. What a great confident stroke that was into a small portion of the side.
Pocket, exactly. You want to hit it with the proper speed. So you get the maximum with the shot as far as the drop with the ball. But he hit it and he challenged himself there, which worked out well.
I think that's similar to the mentality he made a decision on the 9 a moment ago. He wants to feel good cueing, right? Like he's hitting the ball clean. That's what it's going to take to win this tournament, not only this match, but this tournament.
Oh, there you go. Take it a step further. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get in your own head a little bit.
Build up your confidence a little bit.
Exactly. You don't have somebody over there to a caddy or anything. You got to do it yourself in different ways.
Get the assurance that you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, he's got another big tournament going on here as well that he's trying to be as confident as he can to win.
Yeah. Yeah, he's using this challenge here to heighten his confidence going forward.
Yeah, and I think the 2-ball and the 9-ball have a direct link to that connection. Oh my.
What do you attribute that to? Was he just careless?
Well, when you get a little quick, okay, when it's slick out there, the ball's cut easier. Like if me and you were on the table and I could show you how you could aim when this felt slick to make the balls, you'd be amazed because there's no friction hardly. There's no grab, let's say, right? So when you get a little quick, you can overcut a ball very easily.
Mm-hmm. So unattended English will do the same thing, but I don't think he was guilty of that.
No, I don't think so. That's one thing Alex is very good at.
Yeah.
He's very much around the center of the ball a lot when he's doesn't need English. So he's looking to try and feather this ball. Wow,
this is very difficult.
Well, the good thing about it is if he does shave it, everything kind of works out okay, and he drops the cue ball down table near the 10. But if he hits it any kind of thick at all, you can see it's kind of doomed from there, right? Cue ball could easily go in the corner, catch the points, sell out a shot.
Yeah, and I don't think he can kick behind it because of the 9.
Can.
Oh, he can, but the 9 cuts off a lot of the area what he would like to use.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't maybe hook him behind the 9, but he could get the 7 to the end rail. Right, 7 should only move about 5 or 6 inches if he hits it well. Moved a little bit more, but still you got to like it.
On this shot here, what do you just let bank the 7 back to the center of the table, center diamond on the foot rail?
I mean, that's usually the play, I guess, but at good speed, you really can't hold the cue ball on the rail doing that.
Yeah, Canadian players use this shot a lot, so he should be comfortable with the...
I might be cutting this in, I think. That's what I kind of saw, maybe. Guys go for that on the slick table a little more than you think. Like Fedor, he's going to go for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the ball slides in very, nicely.
Yeah, well, he's closer to the 7 than Alex was, and he probably has a better...
Yeah, a little more
angle.
forgiving shot.
Yeah,
for
better
sure.
angle, better view of it.
But almost, between the two players, if you recall how he just stroked that ball, Alex, and the difference is, watch how this guy just lets the cue go, kind of. He doesn't try to control the hit at all, just a nice, aggressive, accelerating swing through the ball. There is no, worry in the stroke, I guess you might say.
Mm-hmm. A nice top center ball, too. No English at all. Gives you a much truer hit with the cue ball.
Yeah, this guy's going to be a force for a long, long time, along with so many other great players coming up. And now to get back to that 2-game lead here with the 9 and 10.
Another player I want to mention his name and ask you how you feel about his game as opposed to Gorst's game. What about Joshua Filler?
What about him? He's a great player.
In comparison to this young man.
I think...
Because they're the guys that are going to be battling one another in the years to come.
Oh, absolutely. Joshua Filler is, I would label Fedor at this moment a more consistent player. And the only reason I say that is, Filler's the type, if he gets down towards the end, he's probably going to win the tournament. You know, and that's why we talked about him and like Kachi. I feel like Kachi's a more consistent player than Filler. He's down in there more often. But maybe Filler's kind of like Earl or Siegel when they get down in there. They usually win the tournament, kind of like thing.
And why is that? Tell me.
It's just, you know.
If Kachi's more consistent, you're saying the Filler has more of a
higher
top speed.
upside. Higher upside. Yeah, exactly.
He has a higher top
higher
speed.
gear. Yeah, exactly. And for some reason, when he gets down in there, that higher speed just seems to come out.
Well, for him to get there, he has to get there with the high speed.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a young man as well, and what I think you're going to see from him is a lot more consistency coming up through the years. It's just, you know, a little bit different mentalities between Fedor and Filler, so maybe Fedor's, you know, established that consistency a little bit quicker at the younger age.
And where does, what's his name, when you did the match room, the U.S. Open, the Asian player?
Aloysius Yap.
Yeah. Where does he rank?
Well, I mean, I think Aloysius would tell you he's a hair behind these guys, and you know, I think I would have to say the same, but he's right there. I mean, he doesn't quite have the match experience that they have.
I think that's the difference then, the experience.
Yeah, these two have a lot more matches.
The skills and the ability.
Oh, yeah, and technique, maybe as good as both of them, if not better. You know, really, really fine technique.
Well, what about his demeanor? What about his attitude?
Well, he's along like with, you know, like Fedor. You know, a very hard trainer, maybe a silent genius that you don't hear from enough kind of guy. But, yeah, you could label those three as going to be three of the guys to beat the next 25 years.
And I think of the three we mentioned, Gorst, Filler, and
Yap,
I think that the emotional edge goes to Yap and Gorst.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to Filler. I think Filler's a little higher strung.
Yeah, but that's also at the same time what maybe makes him win when it gets down to the end. So you can't take away some of those, you know, it's all how you cage it. You know, if you manage it, if he gets to corral what he has.
Okay, if he can corral.
Exactly, and that's what's going to take a little time, you know, for him maybe.
Okay.
So,
but those are actually the three players right now going forward you're going to hear a lot about.
Yeah, and there's some other ones, of course. There's a lot more Europeans. The Polish players, Oliver that I brought up yesterday, a very unique player in my opinion, kind of a mad genius from what I see on the pool table. I think you're going to see a lot from him. Fortunsky, another great player. Of course, Kachi, Jason Shaw's, you know, a little older than those guys, but still has a lot of career left. So.
All right. Okay, let's get back to this match here because it's 3-1 in Gorst's favor here. Pagulayan has ball in hand. This is obviously a game that he needs to win.
And he's going to draw his ball to the end rail, it looks like, and back up. Unique way to play a shot with ball in hand. He could just stun out there, right? He could have just set up a little angle and stunned out a little wider, but didn't want to have the angle on the 5 maybe.
The pockets may play pretty generously here because of what he just did. When you hit a ball with that speed on that angle,
absolutely.
You know, you have to have confidence that the pocket's going to accept the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these guys they're recognizing the ball sliding nicely, and you know, just like the Mosconi, even though the Mosconi has changed in the last couple of years, they've tightened the pockets, which I really love. I think that's the only way to go. So there you have to deal with a little snugger pocket, 4 1/8 this year, I heard. We'll see. But also the deflection of the cue ball. That's really the worry when it comes to the super slick table, in my opinion. Of course, the speed is one thing. It's fast. The bed is fast. But, like, if you have to get out of line and you have to start loading the ball up with side spin to try and get back in line, you better be on point with the timing of the stroke or else it can look real bad real quick. All right, little light draw stun here. Just kind of creep the cue ball across the table. Ooh. Like right there, for instance. He had to put more into it, right?
Yeah, but he went down too low, though.
Oh, no, that's not it. It's the left English, okay? deflected because he had to overhit a little bit into a little thicker hit on the ball.
That's what happened.
And that's what costs you movement of the cue ball that you don't realize.
Right.
So actually, those types of shots, a little less side spin, and just kind of feel creeping into position. It kind of smooths the stroke out, and you actually get more out of the table. It's a hard combination to figure, but it's actually the truth.
Now, he may not end up with a shot on the 10
oh my
here
gosh.
if he's not careful.
Why didn't he cut that ball? That 9's going to go. Well, a little a la Efren Reyes right there with the massaging of the cue stick as he fluked the ball in. I remember several of those from Efren.
You see, he played the 10 and the bank.
Yeah, I get that, but I still was surprised he didn't. Uh-oh.
No, he's all right.
I'm still surprised he didn't play the cut shot on the 9.
I got a stupid question to ask you right now, okay?
Stupid one?
Prepare yourself.
Okay.
Obviously, 2 feet on the floor.
Right.
Or 1 foot on the floor, I should say.
Right.
He just cut the 9 in, and he was watching the cue ball, and he jumped on the table with both feet off the floor.
Right.
What is that?
Well, that's okay. I mean, you got to have 1 foot on the.
What is that?
Technically, it's okay when 1 foot on the floor when you're striking the ball.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And actually, that's come up before on some stretches, like with some players that actually referees were called. Make sure that he still has that foot on the floor as the cue ball is being struck.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
right there, it was fairly obvious, but
I didn't expect it to be called. I was just kind of curious what the correct call is.
I think it was Tony Drago who kind of moved sometime on the shot. You knew Tony Drago is, right? Great snooker player and ended up being a great 9-ball player. Actually won a few big events. But when he, like most of us, when he stretched out a little bit, you know how you can almost slip a little bit as you're delivering the stroke and your feet come up. Mm-hmm. So there is like a little bit of it could be a close call at times with certain players when they're stretched out.
Instant replay there.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a prime example of no jump cue because this is, I wouldn't say a cold-blooded hanger for Fedor, but pretty darn easy shot for Fedor if he gets to use the jump cue.
Right, and it's not fair if you don't use the jump cue.
Right.
In other words, for players that aren't accomplished or adapt with the jump cue, this is not fair.
Yeah,
That's not fair.
Well, what a jump shot Shane made with the full cue.
Yeah, and when he broke loose the 2 from the pack?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said he's going to – the reason why he rolled out here is so he can break the balls open,
Yeah.
I always like jumping with the full cue. There's almost nothing that feels better when you strike the ball with that full cue jump, So
yeah.
Pretty nice. Very difficult rollout situation here. He would love to be able to bend it and get 2 rails behind it, right?
Yeah.
And try and knock the one the end rail and let the cue ball bleed across towards the 3. Kind of like a 3 cushion shot.
Yeah, well, the 1's too far off the cushion.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think it's doable. You have to really wrap it. Now, he could play the other side, play the 1 towards the 3 and bring the cue ball down the side like this.
That's where I thought it would go.
Yeah. And that was very calculated. There was no mistake in what he just did there. And a great shot.
Yeah. I figured that's where I thought that you were going to mention that particular type of action that would be taking place. Not the other one.
And that was very calculated, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was Fedor sizing up what was possible. All right. I think he's going to be okay here.
He's going to be really okay as far as not giving him a shot. But I don't know about the safety here. It's a very difficult safety as well. So therefore, Pagulayan figures to get back to the table with some type of a good shot.
Yeah. I'm wondering how much of the 1 he has. Man, I might stay away from the side spin here. I know you want to hit the 1 and go around the 7. It looks like to me the way it lays, you want to go in between the 6-7, 1 rail back up.
I think a real thin hit on the 2-1, a very thin hit will do better.
That's what I mean, a thin hit and go between the 6-7 with the cue ball. If you try to go around it, you lose the 1. Yeah, like this. Yeah, exactly.
That was bad. That was bad.
And that was just trying to get that separation, but it just didn't lay there like that.
No. a thin hit, you know exactly that you're not going to get that that contact with the interfering
Six ball. Do you think on the thin hit he was worried about the double kiss on the cue ball? Maybe.
No, the thin hit. No, it was no double kiss there.
All right, 2 rails towards the side.
Going to get him come closer to 3 here. Watch out.
Yeah, he's
he
okay.
thought he was going to come on top of it.
I
thought he was too. Oh.
You may have to subtly throw this ball in and just take the distance on the 3. I'm not so sure he can really dig on the cue ball. Now, he looks like he's hitting the center ball, so that means he's got a clear path to the 2. Should draw the cue ball back a foot or so. No, he just kind of cinched it.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
When you consider how generous the pockets are accepting balls.
Well, and that's recognizing the 4 is in a good spot to be able to do this, right?
Exactly, yeah. There was a lot of factors involved with his decision-making there.
Now, both guys hovering just over 825, 820-ish on their TPA, and that has a lot to do with that first game, making some exchanges. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard for them to have a huge, over 900, 950, something like that, the way Alex is breaking the balls,
I agree.
right?
Exactly, yeah.
Going around the 6 here. Should be fine. Just going to have to work the ball a little more.
I kind of like inside English. I don't like unless he can comfortably go around 3 cushions.
Yeah, I think he can comfortably go around. Yeah, no problem. Almost exactly to where he's at now. Maybe a hair closer to the 6 is all.
A little short, but that's okay.
Not terrible. Just got to use the draw stroke a little.
Yeah. Prepare yourself to do exactly what you need to do, like draw the ball, make sure that you follow through with your stroke, get a nice draw on the ball.
Now, Alex talking to himself a little bit, and, he's got sometimes a quick, compact swing, and it kind of creates a little bit of body movement at times. So I think that's something he told himself, hey, kind of stay a little more still.
And on that shot, you need a little more of an angle than he could have played the position for the 10 in the upper right-hand corner, as opposed to how he played that, because he got a little awkward on the 7 ball. No problem.
Now tied at 3 apiece. Alex Pagulayan to break game 7.
Now, if he goes to the side rail break with the score tied at 3 apiece, there's a little more merit to his thinking. But you said, that I don't think there's enough of an edge there when you're talking about 2 upper echelon players.
Right.
I mean, all of a sudden, are you the only guy that can figure it out?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, and the one thing that's hard, though, is when you're winning games, right? It's hard to make that change sometimes, but I think it's almost like I talked about with a few players last night, is pool players, they're a little bit afraid in mid-tournament to really work on things sometimes. Where I find the ones that are really winning the tournaments, like Shane, if he has a problem, he'll go work on it mid-tournament. He's not afraid to make that little subtle adjustment mid-tournament. And I think the same thing on the break. Even though you're winning games, even though you're keeping up, you got to recognize what's going on. And maybe a change is constituted, right, is really the right thing to do.
Right. Yeah. And particularly if you can figure it out.
Yeah.
In other words, in mid-tournament, if you can figure it out, that's going to pay dividends.
Well, and, maybe Alex knows something that he's not hitting the break from the center that well, but normally with the template, all these guys, have a break that's very effective of some sort. Maybe not, one's a little better than the other, but normally making balls is something they can all do. Heavy curve shot here if he wants to take it on.
Well, he really doesn't have much of an option.
Would you shoot the 5 into the 1 and try to roll out somewhere like that? Pocket the 1 and try and position the cue ball maybe on the side rail by the 6? I don't know. A lot of people ignore that you can pocket the one in
I was
this
going to
position.
say, that's pretty heady for you to come up with that too, because that's very uncommon for players to execute that type of a safety.
It comes up in crucial moments, it seems like.
And here's another one right here.
Yeah, no jump cue allowed, and certainly he wouldn't get it back if jump cues were allowed, right? Alex isn't passing this jump shot.
Well, he's gonna push out to a
Full
masse
cue.
or a jump. Okay,
This looks like the masse.
This is a jump.
Jump.
Yeah.
What about jumping?
Now, you know, I'm not real familiar with the action that takes place when you jump over balls. There are times when you jump over balls as the cue ball hops the table. This wouldn't be one of those times, would it?
No, there's a lot of time to get it down. I think he's going to play the curve. Was what I felt. He didn't roll out very far away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fedor didn't roll out very far away from the 8, so I
Yeah.
kind of felt like they were all playing the curve there if they got it back, if Fedor was to shoot it. But
Well, I would have. Well, I think Fedor that has made an error with the rollout. I think if he was going to roll out for the masse, he should have made it a little more difficult of a masse.
yeah,
Because it looked like that was fairly easy.
I kind of liked making the 1 myself on the
I
rollout.
as well.
Yeah.
When you brought it up, I said, great call.
Yeah, some players didn't even know you could do that when I'd bring it up to them. I swear they didn't even know that was allowed.
That's
I was like, really?
ridiculous, though. It's ridiculous. Was that cheating?
Yeah.
It's a cheating?
Well, it's kind of like just new age players, you know what I'm saying? They don't see all the scenarios and stuff that, you know, some 30 years, something years have I've gotten to see, but
It's like a one pocket mentality.
yeah.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, how do I escape?
Yeah, exactly.
The great escape,
What
right?
are my options of getting out of this trap?
Now Alex Pagulayan set up in position to take his first lead in this match. And I knew and I kind of expected a little slower paced match because I kind of felt like Alex was going to break from the side rail, which leans towards a little bit, like I said, it's tactical and slower pace at times.
He would like some sort of an angle on the 7, whether it be to the inside or the outside. It really doesn't matter much.
Yeah, minimal cue ball movement holding here, so you got to figure that's the one. I thought he would actually get a hair more angle than that myself. Now it makes me feel like he may follow the ball.
Follow the ball keeps you in line on the 8, providing that you can hit that second cushion.
Yeah, I would have rather gone a hair more forward on the 6, just maybe an inch, and then had the draw stroke over. I'd much rather draw the ball here than follow.
I don't think he's following it.
Yeah, he's going to light stun draw. Oh, he just held it. Beautiful stroke
You don't want to
there.
go over too far. Well, okay, that's okay too.
No, he's real nice.
Okay. Now you don't want to hit the bottom cushion. You want to stay away from the bottom cushion there.
Yeah, we'll peek into the second round of the Bigfoot Challenge here in day 2.
Excellent. Well, this will give him the first lead in the match. Is that correct?
That's right. Guys kind of swap games on each other's break. Not something you see too often, but no matter the format, I do think you just kind of see it all in pool, really. I mean, a lot of guys, like you brought up earlier, when alternate break first came out, a lot of guys, man, when they get down 5-1 in a race of 9, they just felt like they were cooked because they just didn't feel like they could come back. But once they started to play a little bit longer, they realized that they could come back just like they lost that lead at the beginning of the match. So.
That's true too. Yep. But the point is, why should you ever give up anyways?
No, for sure not. Yeah.
Because I've seen some miraculous recoveries, from deficits that were, unattainable. And because of that, and another reason why you should never give up is that if you ever win one time like that, just one time like that.
It shows you, right?
Especially if you're playing one pocket, okay? Whenever you're behind, like you need 7 or 8 balls or all up table and your opponent needs maybe 1. If you beat them one game like that,
Right.
you know how much that taxes your opponent?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Huge.
You know how his speed drops after that?
Absolutely.
So with that reward alone should give you the reason to like never give up, because when one game like that and things change like miraculously.
Yeah, and I think there's you should try to find value even when losing some games. I mean, you're in a bad spot, right? But a lot of times you can do some good things. You may not put the beat on your side on the score, but you get a little more feel, work on your opponent a little more. It's kind of like a match yesterday between Grabe and Shaw. And there were some early exchanges in the first few games, safeties, kicks, this and that. And I thought it really led well for what a great shot that was. I thought it really led well for Dennis Grabe kind of making a little bit of an upset yesterday. Because of those first few games, he got some time at the table. He let Jason know, hey, I'm here, and it really, I thought, helped him go on to win that match. And so even when you're losing games, you got to figure out a way to find some kind of
get some
gleaming
sort of
light,
positivity
right?
behind it.
Yeah.
You have to find some benefit of it in some way. And if you try hard enough, you usually do.
Yeah, it's kind of like how the coaches are so great in football and baseball. They're the only ones at times that see benefits and losses and can have a perspective that nobody else has. But they're retaining what's going on, and maybe the players don't feel it. Maybe the fans even don't feel it even less, right? Maybe, but maybe they're seeing what's going on.
Maybe that's why Belichick is one of the better coaches.
Exactly.
He can make that adjustment. At the
absolutely.
half. And there's so much to making that adjustment at the half to determine what's going to happen in the second half because of who the coach is.
Well, and that comes.
Some coaches have that ability to know what they need to do differently.
Yeah, and that's also goes to paying attention when losses and things aren't going your way. It's easy to lose focus when things aren't going your way. It's almost excusable at times.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do a whole lot for you in the end.
Right. It's never going to be right, but it could be.
Another tough shot for Gorst here. Like his chances.
Yeah, you got to hit this clean, though.
Ooh. He knocked in the first 2 real tough shots he had early in the match.
Well, he really didn't suffer much of a consequence because of the position of the cue ball. He's all out. He has to go all out here to try to play some sort of a good safety.
He's not taking much time
Not
here,
gonna
and
be
this
easy.
is tricky. Cross corner, maybe? Oh, yeah. Just playing it across, but okay.
Excellent
That's why
speed.
the camera had me snookered. I didn't see the 9 was there. I thought he only had the 7 to really toy with. I was like, well, the 7's not a real big ball to
really
get behind.
Putting his eggs in that basket.
Yeah, now that makes total sense why he didn't take much time coming with that safety. Now Fedor probably hits down on this, kicking at the 2 a little bit, trying to bring the cue ball maybe back towards the 9.
Once again, it's a medium soft speed here. You don't want to.
Oh, he's hitting a high ball.
If you get a decent hit, you don't want the 2 ball to come back at you off of the bottom rail or anything.
So he's coming towards the 8 with the cue ball.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but that's the nice speed. Okay, he left him some type of a shot, but it could have been a lot worse.
That was a great shot there. Now the 3's a little congested, but it is cuttable, I think. I think it is a makeable shot from a few places. We'll see how Alex wants to take on this 2 ball. Can't quite bank the 2 down and get behind the 7 so easily. A little flat on the 2 to do that.
This is really a dilemma here, in my opinion, Jerem. I don't think he has much of a future if he goes to pocket the 2, and he don't have much of a future if he goes to play some sort of a safety.
What about, what about hitting the left side of the 2? Can he go 2 rails to get by the 10 and then dive below the 8, just dropping the cue ball the end rail and leaving him long and kind of straight on the 2 if he lets him see it? The 2's going to come up, right, a little bit, kind of like the head string area. It's the only safety I see really hitting the left side of the 2 with some left spin. kind of going 2 rails in between the 8 and 10 and dropping the cue ball behind the 8.
I see one other safety. I think he can bank the 2, missing the 10 on the left side,
He's
positioning
going
the cue ball behind the 6.
Yeah, he was going the way I was talking about for a moment. Now he's maybe shooting your shot. He's playing the shot.
No, I don't think there's much of a future there for that shot.
Yeah, and the 4 is a huge ball to maybe get behind. So.
Well, so now he's going to have to bank it. Can he bank it?
Maybe, but can he come across it and use the 6?
Yeah,
Takes a deft touch here.
He's going to play a
I
safety.
think he can.
He's going to play a soft safety behind the 6.
Yeah.
Oh, wow! What a
Almost caught
hit!
the point.
What a hit! But it was a nice hit.
Yeah, he's left a little sliver.
I don't think enough for him to pocket the 3 unless he massays it. And that's going to be extremely difficult from the distance he lays from the 3.
He has enough of the 3 to kind of roll it, let the 3 mildly bank off the side rail towards the 9, and let the cue ball just coast down towards the pink 4. He's got about 2/3 of the 3 or so. I think that's maybe a doable shot.
I'm not quite following your.
Well, just kind of roll on the 3 and let the cue ball just go directly
You
to
mean
the
to pocket it?
No. Send the 3 to the side rail and let it fall on top of the 9. And let the cue ball just come off the 3 slowly to the back of the 4. Don't think there's much option. He could just go for the cross corner
That
bank.
depends on how much of the 3 can be. If he's
That's
too
what I say.
thin on the 3, he can't do that.
Right, that's what I say. If he's got 2/3 of the 3, 3/4 of the 3, I think it's a doable shot. Otherwise, I might go for the cross corner bank, Billy. Oh, he's curving his ball. Wow, easy to hit this too fat with the swerve. Wow, what a shot.
Wow. What a shot is right. I mean, he had a massé that ball. And to shoot that shot, you have to have a lot of courage. Just to shoot that shot because, shooting that shot, it's either going to be you or him.
Well, not only that, you could foul very easily because the 6 was a ways away from where he needed to curve. When the 6 is closer to the cue ball, much easier to gauge and feel you're not going to have a problem. But
I think with the speed that he hit that shot with,
sweet,
he pretty much knew when that massé was going to take effect.
Yeah, when it was going to start the curve. But, but still, though, I mean, he knew it, but that doesn't mean it has to all work out. Now, maybe bumping the 5 here a bit, just a light bump. Yeah, doesn't want a heavy one.
That's not a bad option at all.
Yeah.
Very nicely executed. The results speak for itself. Very nicely done.
Well, that's kind of what I mean as far as the break shot for Alex, and what we talked about is like if Fedor is behind in any area against Alex, how far can it be?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think he's kind of ahead in other areas.
Yeah.
So
and to have that mindset when you're playing an upper echelon player, it's kind of like
that's hard, right?
Egotistical,
right?
In a sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I think both of us know Alex, and we don't really consider that being the case. But I think it's just a little bit of him overlooking. He's had some success, like I said, doing this against some of the top players. But I think if he had a conversation with some guys he trusted that were very smart about these kind of situations, I think he may start to lean and realize that maybe that's, oh my, wow.
And you would never think a player like Gorst would end up doing that, being careless because of how he prepares to shoot every ball. He has that regimen. He goes through, he looks at the ball. He's very meticulous in a sense.
Yeah, and a little more emotion that you'll see. Gave it a little, I could have had a V8, a little pop to the head right there. Like, what was that?
Yeah, and he trails by 1 game, and then he brought it on himself.
I'm sure you remember those commercials a long time ago. Bam, I could have had a V8. So. All right, Alex Pagulayan looking to extend the lead now and put a little pressure. He will be breaking in the next game. So, again, I don't know if he'll recognize that Fedor really had the chance to win the game there. So we'll see how Alex breaks in game number 9 after he clears this 9 and 10. And that's the shot you shoot a little more often on the slick table than you would on the pool room table. pool room table, you put a little inside, you come 2 rails at the ball. On the slick felt, not saying he couldn't have there, but as a whole, you stay away from that a little more often.
I kind of like the way he shot that shot.
Well, I do too. I use the 1 rail a lot anyways.
I don't care what kind of table I'm really
I know, but you would hear a lot of people say, no, you're supposed to always come 2 rails here. Well, now you're throwing in that variable.
Why would you put that English on it when you don't need to?
Yeah, with inside, exactly.
Because you create more of a possible skidding situation.
Missable ball, everything.
I mean, come on.
Deflection, everything.
I mean, that's natural. Even though you're not going to be on that line for position, the speed that you have for that particular shot is going to put you 98% of the time in reasonable line for the 9.
Well, these guys are on a timeout. You can see our 9-ball rack track here with Gorst opened with 2. Then a lot of Pagulayan winning 5 out of 6 after 2-0
and
down.
4 straight, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. They're on a player's timeout. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, the players are back in the arena. Pagulayan preparing to open up the balls in rack number 9. He leads us in the match 5-3. An unforced error in the last rack by Gorst is mainly what's attributable to this 2-game deficit Gorst now faces. And it was quite uncommon to see Gorst make such an unforced error because he's really a model of consistency. He doesn't have a shot on the 2. There's a possible jump, but I don't know if it's close to the ball, if he can even jump here. It's going to be very difficult for him to keep the cue ball on the table. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly what his options are and what he will do. Okay, with that introduction by Kenny, now we're back in action here. Pagulayan broke the balls. Obviously, he made a ball on the break. The 1 ball, he's looking at the 2 ball here, but he can't see it. Can he jump over the 5?
Yeah.
Over the 4
full
here?
cue.
I mean, can he do that?
I mean, it is possible, but I don't like his chances. I don't like anybody's chances of really keeping the ball on the table with the full cue.
That's what I was talking about, actually. I was kind of curious because, like I mentioned to you before, I'm not really, that knowledgeable about jumping because I'm old school. I haven't played pool in quite a while. I really don't know the type of action that takes place in certain jump shots. So I thought that he might be having a problem keeping the cue ball on the table. I was right that time.
I think he gives this one up. I don't really see if he could get the 2 a little more full. I think he may take this on. I'm not so sure he really takes on the cut to the upper right. Now, is there somewhere he feels like he can play a safety with it? I don't see it myself, Billy. I'm kind of looking right down the line, and I think I have to pass this shot.
Exactly, and the reason you pass is because you really don't know if you have a decent safety. So therefore, chances are he's going to go for the pocket. He's an underdog in doing that, and if that's the case, you have to give it up.
Wow. Well, you just got to say hats off, even though he's going to give up a little piece of the 2. Great shot there by Alex. I mean, anytime you're rolling out, you got to roll out tough as you can and have a chance to get it back. And he did that. And not saying he's going to end up with the best of it here in a moment, but you got to like his play, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a lot better results than I think he would have gotten if he would have went for the pocket. No, Gorst is in a tough spot here. He does have a pocket for the 2. And like I mentioned, I didn't mention it actually, but if he opted to play a safety, the results that he got right there were somewhat not that uncommon, I should say, because he wasn't going to get away with that type of a safety very often.
Well, it just caught the 2 a little thick, so therefore the 2 didn't go as far traveled, and neither did the cue ball, right? So now Alex in a great spot to lengthen this lead. Little light there, and now he's going to have to go to the bridge. Natural shape. It's all about pocketing the ball. Pretty big pocket from this angle as well.
Now he's falling a little bit short, it looks like.
Yeah, the 5's nice and accessible, though, so now he's going to... Is he going to go into the 6 lightly, trying to open the 6?
That's not a bad idea, considering the position of the 6 in relation to the 8 and also the 10 and 7. So therefore, moving the 6 wouldn't be bad at all if, in fact, he can do it. I don't know if he can do that.
Yeah, I think so. He can control it. It's just a matter if he wants to or not.
I don't think he wants to. He wants to go around.
Well, he considered it for a moment. Now he's just going to come around the table. Now he's like, man, I really want to be able to reach this shot. It's going to require some draw and touch coming down the table.
Yeah, he's got to go toward that 10 here.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to have to stretch to do it, and that's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
He's got to use his extension. Therefore, a lot of problems out there on this particular shot, not only in reaching it, but positioning that cue ball where it needs to be for position for that 6. He only has that one side pocket to play position for. Let's see how well he does here.
Yeah, should try to play for a little thin on the 6, not taking any chance to get behind the 10. Could pull very close. Oh, see the deflection? When you put left English, you notice he's a foot away from it. There's no way he's aiming poorly. It's when you miss the tip a little, you deflect a little more, maybe get a hair quick, and you bend the ball a little heavy on that slick felt.
And I'm starting to realize the importance and the significance of what you were talking about.
It's huge. And this table's very slick, but like the Mosconi, you can't even duplicate it. We've tried to duplicate it. You can't. The deflection is really kind of the big part of the game, especially when your nerves are high, because you can overhit the ball a little bit, you can let up a little bit.
And it's a type of a thing that you really don't even think about. You don't think about it.
You do once you start playing.
And I'm sure next time, if he's aware of what happened, actually, first of all, you have to be aware of why things happen.
Yeah, of course.
So if he's aware of it, maybe he'll make that adjustment. But sometimes you don't even think about what happens. You just think it's a miss on your part, and you'll try to do better the next time. And the next time you're going to get the same results.
Yeah, the process isn't there, right? And you're dead spot on as far as some players never really recognize it until someone tells them. Because I've seen plenty of great Mosconi players still fight the same problem, almost like the repeated missed kick that spreads on them. You know, they continually miss that kick a lot of times, not understanding that
or they
top
don't want to understand.
Maybe that's
because
it.
It can't be like this.
Well, I know they don't want to give up ball in hand either, though. So
well, eventually they'll wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Now a medium tough shot in the corner here. 10-footer, you really got to pay attention to all of these. And just a good delivery most all the time from this man.
Yeah, especially the last time he was at the table with that unforced error, missing that very simple shot.
7-ball.
Yeah, he has to make sure now that he doesn't get careless again, because it's really not Gorst-like to get careless to begin with.
That's right. Little thinner maybe than he wanted here, so
he might have to draw around it here, or if he can.
No, he can. This is one of the benefits of the slick table.
Well, he's going to go cross table twice, or maybe he's going
watch
to
him lower the
it.
tip. Watch him lower the tip. He goes down on the draw like that, like old school players. They used to aim a little higher and then drop the tip. Where most of the younger players these days, they actually have a lower tip, like Efren, and then the tip comes up just a hair for the draw. But that is one of the advantages of the slick table. You can manipulate that draw, on the light side and really control it. So, of course, there are disadvantages, but there are advantages also.
You just have to be knowledgeable enough to understand it.
Yeah, what's going on with makes and misses, right? 5-4. Gorst to break here in game number 10. So even though they've exchanged on each other's break, you can kind of say they're on serve.
Exactly. Therefore, the unintended, or actually the unforced error misses that they both made were really, really surprising. So therefore, they wash themselves out.
Exactly.
And now the score now is 5-4. What it figured to be had they made those balls.
Yeah, a little more of a reset for maybe both players midway through the match. The 9-ball event moving along. We've got a lot of one-loss side matches going on. And then we'll enter into the no-loss side, the winner's side here as the evening goes on.
Nice cue ball. I don't know if he's going to get rewarded with a ball in which he didn't. Now the balls are really in good position on the table. Nicely separated. No, there's no congestion out there. One ball in the corner pocket, obviously, drawing back down for the 2. The 3's in the center of the table. The 4's in perfect line for the 3. Then the 5. He should get out from here.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
7 to the 8 is about the most work, maybe. I mean, it's all work, don't get me wrong. 5 by 10, you cannot really take anything for granted. Like here, he could have used a little more out of the cue ball. And not so much it should really slow him down a ton, but you lose a little bit of touch when you're a little further away. You could lose a little bit of line of the cue ball. Now, the good thing, he has a very clear path. So
I like 2 cushions toward the 3 here.
do
Don't
you
you
really?
around the
I
4?
like 1 myself,
Really?
but I don't like flirting with the 4-9. I don't see it being necessary.
No?
Yeah. Looked like 1 rail just was like always going to be very safe.
Yeah,
Now, it's not the most pleasing
you're
way
right,
to shoot the
because
shot.
you're more accurate with this shot as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to like slug it like. Now he's going to end up further away from the 5 than he wants to be, because he got a bad angle here. He almost has to stop it, or draw it back 6 inches.
He's going to follow, so just make sure you don't flirt with the 9.
Oh, my.
That's what I would say. Don't flirt with the 9 too much.
Yeah.
I'm really trying.
And the thing is, sometimes the 10-footer will make you want to really move the ball a lot closer, but you almost have to play the same mentality as the 9-foot at times, whereas like, hey, let me take my distance a little bit here.
It's just one of those shots where he might get a little.
Yeah, you could deflect into thick.
Right.
A little cleaner strike that time. And there's 2 ways to do it. If your timing's good, you handle it just fine.
He wants to draw back about 6 inches.
Yeah,
That's
something
about
like
it.
that.
Wants to make sure he
But
right
he
where the
can
cue
reach
ball.
it too. That's the thing.
There, that's
He's
perfect.
got to really be mindful of
perfect.
reaching.
Now make sure you keep a nice angle on the 8. You don't have to go down table here very far. Might be too far down table. Yeah, not bad. I kind of like that 1 rail position for the 9.
Me too.
And so since he went so deeply down table, he may have to go 2 cushions.
Yeah, and what happens is it just hugs a little bit, so you can lose your line a little on the slick table. Area is very nice, and that's what I mean. You have to really get used to like creeping the cue ball into position if you really want to hold the lines you intend.
And it looks like he's ended up with an awkward angle here, so he may have to like
Stun
it over a little bit here.
I think maybe he can follow and
It's
just
real
land a
close.
little left of the
It's really
10.
close.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
he did
he
have to
stunned.
stun. He
Yeah.
used all the pocket there
Yeah.
also. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the forgiveness side of the slick felt. That's the easier thing part of it is the
exactly.
pockets, right? So. But this is a good combination of a test for these guys, and now out to that 2-game lead again at 6-4. But I think the 10-foot, the distance makes it, to where the pocket probably doesn't need to be super tight. And also the slick felt makes it very difficult to play on. So I think there's some equalizers there.
I wouldn't really like playing on a 5 by 10 with real tough pockets.
Yeah, right.
I really don't think I would like that. You know what I mean? Because the table is tough enough just because of the length of the table. Well,
back in the day at CJ's, I spent a lot of time on that one, and they had it pretty tough for a while. But when you're young and you're practicing and you're in stroke, and you kind of feel like it's not the worst thing in the world for you. Now, maybe in an action match, maybe different. Even though I did play quite a few of them there at CJ's, and I seemed like I always kind of played my best pool on the 10-footer when I was in stroke.
I played a lot of pool on a 5 by 10 in Detroit. They had several locations in Detroit where they had 5 by 10s. In one location in particular, they had a 5 by 10 with snug pockets, and it was a real experience.
Test, huh?
Real experience then playing on that table.
I'll tell you, these guys are both of them kind of shaking their heads after the breaks, really not used to not making balls with the template. And this table's been tough. I mean, we've seen some matches where balls have went in, of course. I think it was Dennis Grabe who made 5 on the break yesterday one time, but it hasn't been, just like every match where the balls are just pouring in on the break.
A lot of indecision out there. Frankly, I don't want to be the player at the table now. There isn't really a good safety. There isn't a good offensive shot here. If I were what I would do, you can call me crazy, I would just tap the cue ball and let my opponent, because if he goes on to shoot here, he's not the favorite.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's the favorite. He's going to have to make a real good shot to be the favorite here. So therefore, considering that, I would just tap the cue ball and see what my opponent would do. If he passes it back to me, I'm in the same situation that I would have been if I would have shot.
Now, I'm curious. He's taking on the combo. That's apparent. Is he just going to let the cue ball roam, or does he hit it at a lighter speed, or what's
the cue ball's going
here?
toward the 7 here, so therefore that's the action that I see it taking.
So it's kind of straight up and down here?
Yeah, straight up and down. No English.
I like his chances of making it myself. But, ooh. I don't know if that was intended.
No, that obviously wasn't intended.
It may have been. Look where the cue ball's at. It may have been
That's
entirely.
because he mishit it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to ask Fedor. He'll definitely tell me the truth
Well,
later
you know
on.
what? I'm going to tell you something. It was a good mishit, meaning that, hey, I learned something there.
Right.
Okay? Maybe I should have played it like that next time I will.
Yeah, exactly. That was the shot. All right. Putting the 2 near the end rail.
He may have played it, and you could be correct, because he don't really mishit balls that badly.
Much, yeah. And the speed is what I look at. Like the speed, to me, if he cuts it, it's not really doing anything to the cue ball.
Now that I reviewed it in my head, he did play it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he did play it.
All right, watch out coming over the top of this. Easy to spread, a little much. Wants a medium speed here. Yeah. Wow, he just gets such a good feel for when he's going rail first.
As most Filipino players do.
Yeah, right. But you'll notice one thing that I tell the guys on the slick felt is you notice how he controlled it with left spin, not top spin.
Top spin lengthens out a lot.
Well, and you're in control a lot more of what happens to the shot and the route it takes when you control it with side spin or maybe digging on the cue ball. But that straight natural top is a hard one to gauge.
It's a hard one to gauge because you never use it.
Yeah. Oh.
He jumped a little there, but...
Yeah. Okay, he's got to work the ball unless he's willing to take on a 5-6. Now, the 5-6 is not a tough combo. There's a pretty big pocket there. You can hit the 6 a number of ways and have it slide in. So,
yeah,
he's got enough stroke to draw it.
Yeah, in situations like this, I really try to stay away from the combo here,
Yeah, of course you want to stay away from the combo, but you're going to be realistic. The combo's not tough, in my eyes.
Yeah, but if he puts this ball down with a good draw stroke, he's going to have to end up with a shot either on the combo or a shot that would be easier than the combo.
Yeah, but I mean, the light draw stroke is not that hard of a shot, period. You're not threatening the side at all. So, we'll see. If he decides to dig into the cue ball, he certainly has the stroke to get past the side.
No, I like for him to fall short of the side, draw a cross table, and play the 5 in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, okay. It looks like to me he's drawing just past the side directly to me. Straight draw. Oh, he got it that way.
Yeah, well, he went the other way, yeah. Well, he went short of the side, and I thought he could go straight across with a more, not too deep, not too much under the center ball.
Okay, playing for a little bit of the bigger pocket where he could use the rail.
Nice.
Yeah, he hit it sweet. He hit it sweet. So Alex doing, kind of overcoming what Fedor has done.
I kind of like a high ball here with inside English. He might be going straight across. I think it puts him closer to the 7 with a better angle.
Yeah, but again, that's one of the things you kind of stay away from.
See, I didn't like that. I don't like that.
He let up on it, though.
With a high ball, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
High inside, you go around here. You go more to the center of the table.
Just trust me on the inside on the slick table, Billy. You stay
but
away
the
from it a
object
little
ball
more
is
than
right
you
in front of
think.
the pocket, though.
No, I get it. But the high ball hugs a little.
He's going
like
rail
here.
first. He's going rail first there.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I thought that was a mistake. That's not trusting your draw stroke there.
Well, I don't blame him. Really, I don't.
On the rail first?
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. It
I know he missed it,
slid
but
on him. He hit it about too full.
No, I get it, but I mean that's the thing that's harder to gauge. I thought he would just draw the ball up the table and kind of take your medicine.
Yeah.
Fedor Gorst, with a game he probably needs, really has struggled on the break. I don't know if he's made a ball once. I think maybe once early.
He scratched a couple times on the break.
Well, one time he got kissed in whenever he left a possible combination, and Alex elected to run out behind it.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the side rail here also.
Well, since he's been coming up dry and hasn't really been productive on the break, you would think he would change something. You told me he was an intelligent player.
Oh, very.
So maybe it's time for him to change something.
Yeah. Well, he'll change something. I don't know if he'll change locations. He'll know if he's not hitting the rack exactly how he wants, if the speed is off. I mean, there is no maybes involved in his game very often.
Not that I doubt what you say, that he's not an intelligent player. He seems like an intelligent man.
Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't doubt if he unloads, though, a little more here. Maybe ups the speed a little. Yeah,
He sure did. Yeah, he did that for sure. Now, he made the 7 ball.
Yeah.
And he's got a shot on the 1.
And the 10.
And the 10's hanging. Oh, my.
You
Where's
saw
the 2? Did he make the 2? Was that
I
the 2?
didn't see the 2 go down. I saw the 7. No, the 2's in the middle of the table. He's going to have a long-distance combo on the 2-10.
Yes, he is, and he's frozen on the rail. Looks like he's going to have to accept that combo long distance.
Now, do you come one rail past the 4? Do you lay on the side rail?
Oh, look, he's playing.
He's looking to run out to get to the 3-10,
Yeah,
maybe?
right. That's what he's looking to do, but he must have an angle on the to cut the 1 to his left.
Yeah,
And
but
come
that's what I was
across
saying. Would
table.
you just come out one rail and get past the 4 and take on the 2-10, or would you come across to play the 2 and then you may not even be able to get on the 3-10 here in a moment? We'll see. This is the shot I was talking
Yeah,
about.
but now he's got to play the 2 in the corner.
Yeah. But I thought he would just creep past the 4 and play the 2-10 combo of it. Maybe the 2 doesn't go by the 5.
He hit the 1 too thickly.
Yeah. Does the 2 not go by the 5?
I'm sure it does.
Onto the
I'm
10?
sure it does. I'm sure
Okay.
it does.
Okay.
I'm sure it does.
Now, big shot here in this match, right at the halfway point.
I mean, really, he's unhappy about this. He figured he wanted to come cross table, play the 2 on the side, which would have given him the natural angle to drop down for either the 3-9, 3-10, or the 3. You know?
You can see the extension being
See, look,
used.
he knows it. He's looking to play the 2-9 and the 2-10 now. He looked over there just for an instant. I don't know if he's going to do it.
Well, I think
No, he's going for the pocket.
Can he push through and not hit the 6? That's what, and the cue ball
Oh,
go
yeah,
kind of towards the 10?
I believe he can, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think the cue ball is going to go slightly to the left of the 5.
A little bit towards the 10, right?
Yeah.
Easy to overcut this one. Got to stay heavy. Yeah, just like that. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you saw overcut on the 2 a little bit. But
Oh, yes, I did.
he had that 6 on his mind, I think, with the cue ball. Bit of fortune there for Fedor.
Pagulayan's really not happy about that. Look at him shaking his head. But, you brought that on kind of like yourself when you went rail first.
On that ball before, right?
Yeah. It changed a lot. Not only did it change the outcome of that particular game, but it changed quite a bit of stuff. It changed just changes things. And now this match is tied up, I believe.
Yes, it is.
After 12 games, 6 apiece. And now momentum is on Gorst's side. I don't think these players have played exceptionally well or well in this match.
Well,
It's a 5x10, I do understand.
yeah, but it's not so much that. It's something that I see that it doesn't really seem like it should mean that much. But when the break's not working, that's kind of how rotation players their heartbeat kind of goes with that break a little bit, and their flow and their energy and everything else is. It's almost like when they're having problems on their break, they get a body blow right at the beginning of every rack that they kind of have to recoup from a little bit.
Well, they don't get the ability or the opportunity, I should say, to stay at the table and run some balls.
Right. And it is a mental check, I think. I think it mentally wears on them a little bit, especially in this day and age where the guys are very much used to making balls on the break. Mm-hmm. I've seen it at other tournaments
definitely more of a grind, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I've seen it at other tournaments where I kind of see them turn white, Billy, when they break time and time again and they're dry. Like they have to almost get used to it a little bit. Now, it doesn't affect the upper guys as much, but like that next tier of players, when they're not making balls on the break, they kind of like I said, feel out of sorts. Oh, great hit there.
Nice.
Going to get a little bit of a cut here, and he's going into the 10.
Yeah.
So he may manipulate with a hair of right English. I think left English, he's not going to get to the 4.
Right English is going to send him to the left side of the 8.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but might go around the 4.
Yeah, I think straight high. I think he flirts with getting behind the 8 or behind the 7 on top of the 7. I think with left English, he won't get there. I think he also flirts with... So either a hair of right English, Sam's cue, and just a touch of right on the cue ball.
Yeah.
Oh, he's overcut it. See the deflection again, huh?
Wow, it's... I don't know. I mean,
he
really missed that ball.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little bit of, like I said, not understanding. You have to aim a little thicker.
Yeah, you're getting squirted out there.
I think Fedor goes for this bank myself. He's a great bank player.
Yeah, but the 9 ball is really impeding the accuracy of the shot because he's not going to make the 3 off the 9.
Oh, he may. If he uses the rail, he certainly may. He's not going to hit it directly off of it, but he's going to use the rail here.
Yeah, well, if the 9 wasn't there where he needs to hit for it to go off the 9, he would have made it anyways.
No, I get that.
But where the 9 is, he can't go straight into the pocket because the 9's blocking a portion of it.
Well, I'd like to bet you dinner he makes it.
Well, we'll find out.
See that? He did use the 9.
Yeah. I'd like to kill you.
Yeah. Hey, well, they don't.
Not really.
They don't write it down how. They just, you can say I was correct.
Well, you know what? You are correct because
I'm joking.
You are correct because if the 9 wasn't there, he probably wouldn't have made the bank.
Right. It would have hit the point, right?
And there is that uncommon follow through of the 9 bank.
Yeah, kind of like that unlucky scratch. You can only hit it one way if you go right through it. A lot of people don't realize how great a banker Fedor is. Yeah, really smooth there.
It looks like he can't miss the 9 if he chooses to play the billiard.
Well, he's shooting the 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm just saying that the 9 looks like automatic.
Yeah, it's not a winner though. We're playing 10 balls, so.
I understand that.
So, but the thing is, he's naturally coming 2 rails a little bit on top of the 7.
Don't get me wrong. I would play the 5 too.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying that if he don't like it for some reason, he could play the 9.
I think with top English, he's got to be a little careful.
He's going to end up close to the 7 off the second cushion. Nice shape for the side. Well, he's going for the corner now. See, it's a little awkward here.
He's just making sure he didn't get on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So
he's going to look and see what path the cue ball, if he opts to play it on the side.
He's got the 8, He's got the 8 for both corners. So if he needs to go between the 8 and 10 and like inside the English.
I think he should draw with 2 cushions out.
Well, if he can, of course. But if he's threatening hitting the 10, he won't want to do that. But Yeah, he could do it easily. Really nice speed there.
Yeah. Yeah, he was real comfortable with that shot. Yeah. You know, he would like to end up, you know, in the center of the table toward the 9 more.
Yeah, definitely play above it here.
Yeah, that's it. The center of the table.
That's
Now
perfect.
get over, so you can reach it. You want to be able to reach it.
Yeah.
He's
Now, this is the type of shot, even when you're coming across the table, don't force it. Remember, it's going to move. It's going to release and move. It's like you can actually, again, like Alex did earlier, hit this ball thick to the hole if you really try to get into the cue ball. If you really try to force that second rail, like really hitting that second rail firm, no. But if you just kind of like I said, let it glide across. You see that, how he didn't really put a ton into it, and he held the line very nicely.
Yeah. Oh, he was pretty close to the ball as well, so.
Right, but remember the 5 ball that Alex missed? He was very close to the ball.
Alex has missed some shots
Yeah.
in this match. And he's falling behind again.
Yeah, and Fedor Gorst will break off now in game number 14.
I'd like to get a real quick peek at the TPA here.
Here we go. It's 8:40 and 8:20:39 for the two guys, so real close on the TPA, and I think this TPA has a little bit to do with how they're breaking and not making many balls, and again, also the break spot that Alex is breaking from, really making the racks difficult.
Now, on a 5x10 at 840, which they're both shooting 840, 839, is really not that bad.
No, not at all.
Okay, on a 5x10.
Right.
Had they been playing on a 4.5x9, then that would be a little bit different.
That would be subpar for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So therefore, it's fairly reasonable.
If I was Federer, I might put the cue ball right in the dead
fairly
center.
Respectful, I should say.
The opposite head spot. Now the 1 ball, watch the 3 ball bank 1 rail towards the upper left-hand corner. That's a ball that looks like it's threatening to me as much as any of them. It sometimes gets a kiss around the head string. Watch the 3 ball. Oh, wow, you don't see that very often. Holy moly.
So that's the 3rd time he's fouled on the break.
Well, the 6, 7, and the 10 are very clustered there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think Kenny Schulman's going to be able to do much there. And
Let's take a look at the way the balls are positioned, and you tell me, would it be so unreasonable to
break them out now?
break them out right now, considering that the 3's in front of the pocket?
Yeah.
It would. Huh?
No, it wouldn't be bad. And the other part about it is the 4's over the opposite side. So that makes it even better, meaning very easy to move rail first on the 3 to get to the 4. So it makes a little more sense. I'll tell you one thing that with this situation here with this rack, you see what's going on here? Multiple balls get in there, right? Well, you know, Chris at Aliceville, he does a great job and he supplies incredible amount of products for our game. But I think when this situation occurs right here, they should just cut the rack. We've got plenty of them, right?
Yeah.
They're not that expensive, right? Just take a scissor, cut the rack in 2 places, and it comes apart easily.
Okay.
You don't have to use all the different tools to replace the balls.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
it
like...
makes total sense.
Yeah.
But there's another ball missing here.
Yeah, the 6 ball is coming in. But you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I mean, at a tournament site where we have tons of racks, and of course... But I think overall, if you're going to use the template, it probably makes sense. And I think Alex is going to do exactly what you said, come 2 rails mildly at the 9-10. Doesn't want to kill it. Wants to bump him about a foot away. Didn't really take care of the 7.
No, but he played that shot. I thought that was a...
No, that was definitely a
reasonable,
good
yeah.
shot with the 3 hanging and the 4 easy as well. Now, if the 4 is in a bad spot, you know, back down table here or something, you may reconsider, right?
Uh-huh. I think he should consider the option of going rail first here.
Yeah, I think it's 100% that's what he's going to do.
And he didn't do it.
No, he hit ball first.
Yeah. See, rail first is just natural, providing you have decent speed.
Yeah, I don't get that at all, to be honest with you. And you're really dealing with the arc of the table, which has been the most unpredictable part of this table, right? So when you hit the shot like that, I mean, you're arcing the ball big time.
Let me tell you another thing. If he can just, well,
the 7 goes in the corner. I mean, up in the upper corner. So I wouldn't be surprised he wouldn't mind moving the 9 right here. You know,
got to be careful here, though, because he can get hooked here.
Getting on the 5.
Yeah, getting on the. But no, shoot, that's getting on the. He's gonna right now. Oh my goodness!
How could he get hooked getting on the?
I
5?
thought he was playing the 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was just playing the 4. You end up a little thin here both ways.
Okay, well, this is not really that bad because he can play the 6 into the 9 and then break him up and have the 6 next.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to break him up, though. The
But
7 goes in the
it's
upper left.
ideal to break him up. Now you got all
No,
kind
it's
of
not
pockets.
ideal to break him up, Billy. The 7 goes in the upper left.
Okay.
So I don't think breaking him out really. Now, the problem was with the 9 being here, where's the 6 going?
I
Can he hold the 6?
Yeah, I kind of like playing shape to break him up now.
With the 8 being there as well?
Yeah, I just do. I just had to.
Wow, with the 8 being there. Now,
Well,
if the 8 wasn't there, I
if
could
you
kind
had-
of see it. But with
you
the 8
can't
being
break
there.
him up now because of the angle he's got.
No, I don't think he needs to anyway. He's just got to hold the 6 in position here. Oh, now he's got troubles. Now he's got
really
troubles.
struggling out there. If you notice in the last 2 or 3 racks, he's had opportunities at the table.
I think it's a little up in the brain, too, is the struggle, don't you? I mean, not just physical, but... Looks like he wants to take the cut on, try and go up and down the table, and it just doesn't appear very offered. Put him on the back of the 7-10 or just the 8? Nice shot. Now, Fedor doesn't want to kick with a light speed here. He wants to get a little separation. The 7 being a situation here. Now, if he can control this kick shot, it's one thing. See what he's doing here, folks. He's going over to see what line he does have, and then what does that line offer?
And I think he does have to kick light here, Jeremy. He's got to control that 6. He's got to get down to the end of the table at some way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he should kick hard here. I think there's really not much future
not hard,
in that.
but I mean, it looks like to me kicking this way could easily give up a shot. I don't see the control factor. I don't feel the control factor here on the 6 coming this way. I don't know why, but yeah, I just didn't see it. I thought I would have probably kicked the other side rail back at the 6 coming.
Not much he can do here, anyways.
Well, no, and that's a big part of the shot. That's why he wanted to kick it up table because he knew it was a lot of work still for Alex. But
he can come around 3 cushions under the 8 here.
yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
I know, but good luck. It's going to spread, and it doesn't want to go hard off that 4th rail. Watch him be behind the 8 here is my problem. That's the issue I have.
Uh-huh. Well, he's
I
got a
think
shot.
He got there.
Yeah, he's got a shot. But the way he's been playing, I don't know if he's a favorite to put it down.
Yeah, and he can't see enough of the 7 to just simply stop his ball for the safety, I don't think, anyways.
No, he can't do that. Therefore, he's got to go for it. I like what he's doing. He's preparing himself for the shot, walking around the table, trying to clear the cobwebs.
Well, kind of, do your process as if you're hitting the ball well, right? I mean, that's the only way you're going to get back to hitting the ball well is get back to what you do. Looks like he's trying to kill it 2 rails out of the corner. Oh, no, he had the side pocket.
Oh, wow. Wow. He hit the point front of the side.
Yeah.
Sort of like the side that he's playing a little bit of safety with in case he missed it. It would end up down the end rail.
Well, yeah, he hit it at the speed, though. Just really trying to pocket the ball. But now 2 rails, he's got to stay above the 10. You wouldn't figure him to try and come below the 10.
No. Yeah.
So this is kind of like...
This is kind of funny, the
exactly.
angle.
The angle's a little off.
Funny.
It's not dead natural. It's not natural to pull it. It's not natural to just roll it.
Left English, though. That was a really tough shot to
watch
shoot.
Out. Watch out.
That's a tough shot
watch
to shoot.
Out. Yeah. Ooh.
I think a high left ball would have kept him in line.
Yeah, but then he's dealing with that deflection like I was talking about from 8 or 9 feet away.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, that's why he stayed away from it, I promise you. The one rail was definitely the most simple way to address it with a little inside English.
And I can't argue with what you said because I think normally you would hit it with a high left ball because it would straighten out off of that bottom rail and you wouldn't have to worry about the 10.
Sure.
And it would come right toward the 8 and you would accept a little more difficult shot on the 8, but one that was very workable.
Yeah, now 8-6. Both guys kind of dropped during that game on the TPA, so now both hovering around 825. I believe it's 8-6. Yeah, that's right. Well, we have, again, another match after this, 2 more after that to end the night. So 3 more total here for the 10-foot. We'll be moving right along after that into the final day, and we'll crown a Bigfoot Challenge champion here at the International, the inaugural 10-foot tournament, which I'm sure won't go anywhere. Inaugural one-pocket event that Roberto Gomez just kind of stole from Tony Shohan here in an incredible final the other night. Just came with whatever he needed to come with, the steel games.
Yeah, that was really...
Watch the 3 ball go cross the corner. Maybe get a kiss by the side. We'll see. Oh. Well, he's made a ball. I thought he made a ball. Thought I heard a ball down. Maybe not. Maybe that was one of the outer tables. I'll tell you, can he bank this and follow down that left side rail? Bank it by the 7. If he wasn't jacked up, I think he may entertain this bank shot. I mean, he'll take on a lot of banks.
And it looks like he may have that option.
Well, he's got the option. It's just a matter, like I said, being jacked up. I think he probably stays away from that option.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a tough shot to shoot with a little elevation.
Yeah, I think he's going to chip the right side of the 1. Trying to use the 8.
Oh, yeah, he's going with a high ball.
Yeah. Trying to come back 3 rails behind the 8. What kind of spread on him? Going to need a little fortune here. I don't know. He cut off a little of the pocket on the 1.
He doesn't have a pocket. He doesn't have any
pocket. He doesn't have a whole lot of the 1 either.
He doesn't have any pocket here. He doesn't need a lot of the 1. Just overcut it and come back down table.
Yeah, but I mean, if you overcut it, though, where the cue ball goes, where's the 1 going to go? Into the rail in between the 2, 3? The 3 may have the 1 stand up.
As long as the 1 hits the rail before the 2, that's all you're concerned with there.
Yeah, but the 1 still may stand up there.
No,
may
it's not.
stay.
If you hit the rail before the 2, it won't.
Well, there's not a lot of room between the...
Like that.
Yeah, look at the 3, make it stand up, Billy. That's what I'm saying. The 3's there.
Well, he made the 8.
Well, okay. Well, my problem. My bad.
Jeremy.
I don't think it was a hanger. I think it was doable, but I don't think it was as much of a hanger as maybe.
But what he didn't do, he played too good of a safety. Now he's behind the
now
9
he's
ball.
just got to roll this, maybe trying to get behind the 3 lightly. Pretty good play. It's going to open up, though.
Oh, wow. It sure did. And the 2 ball is conveniently positioned in front of the upper left-hand corner. All he needs to do now is put the 1 down, and he's going to be well on his way to capture this rack as well.
Yeah. I talked about this table earlier. I kind of felt like there was a hair, just a hair of a lean. And if well, he's jacking up, so we won't see it here. But if he leveled out on this ball, wouldn't surprise me if he overcut it just a touch.
Well, I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't see why he wouldn't level.
No, he's digging down on it. It looks like.
Yeah, but I don't see why he wouldn't level out.
Well, he's already shot a couple shots like this during the match and knocked them right on in. So Ooh. Not his best there. Timing was a little bit off.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Let me ask you something. If you play on a table that you can see maybe has a hair of a roll, and then you're faced with a shot like that in your heyday, Billy, and,
Yeah.
do you maybe say, man, I don't want to roll it. I'm hitting them too good. Let me make sure I'm in control of what happens here. That's maybe why he elevated on that shot?
Well, I understand what
This
you're
isn't
saying,
gonna get
but
there either.
that all depends on how difficult the pocket plays.
Right. Right.
If the pocket, if there's a little roll and the pocket plays tough,
Yeah.
okay, I'm leveling
you're
off.
leveling out.
I'm
yeah.
leveling off.
Yeah, and that may have had something to do with here, too. He knows the ball slides in pretty good with a little power. So, I'll tell you what, the 1-2 combo on this table, the way it plays to me, doesn't seem like that difficult of a combo to me. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but I think there's a lot of ways you can make this.
Yeah, but the thing is there's no guarantee you're going to have shape because of the position of the 3.
Well, I think he wanted to roll the combo in, but I kind of feel like the cue ball might be going towards that corner, that opposite corner, maybe a little bit.
No, I don't. Maybe.
It's close.
I think it's going to come a little short of the corner. It's going to hit the foot rail.
Well, if he can go forward with the cue ball, I kind of believe he's going to get a shot. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, it's going to hit the foot rail.
He's going to overcut this and try and play the safety. He's going to try and wrap the corner.
Okay. But he might go into the 4.
No, he'll beat the 4. He thinks he can get by the 6. He can. He can really only use the 9. Cue ball won't bite enough. Like, see here?
Yeah, but if it gets by the 6, he's going to lose control of the 1 ball. He almost did.
Yeah.
He's going to cut this in. I think Pagulayan is the favorite here from this position. He's going to hit this ball thinly with inside English. Keep in line for the 2 in case he happens to put the 1 down. If he happens to overcut it, so be it. He may end up with a safety.
Big shot at a big moment when you could say he was, he's been leaking a little oil, right?
Yeah.
Pagulayan needs this game.
I think the cue ball just bent a little bit behind the 9. He may have to use a little right-hand English, and in doing that, he may lose control of the cue ball.
What about this rail first?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe, he's got to just roll this then.
Should go around.
He's not comfortable with it.
I think he should go around the 3. It's close.
Yeah, well, it's just funny. If he has room, he'll just slide it in softly.
Don't fall underneath the 3, like extremely underneath it. Like nice here, shot. He's going away from it pretty decent now. Should be okay, but... he's going to roll the ball.
Going to play the 4 underneath him where he is now. Oh, he doesn't want that angle. No, he may have to draw it.
Well, not enough angle to really draw 1 rail over. I think he's got to go a little bit forward, Billy.
Well, maybe.
Just accept the angle on the 5 is
here.
all. Yeah.
Well, nice shot.
Probably his best stroke of the match, right? The timing was like perfect.
This is another difficult shot here because of the interfering balls here.
It should fall below the 9-10 pretty natural. The slick felt really leans towards
English.
that.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good considering how he's been playing. I know both you and I are looking at him play right now and saying, when's he going to make this mistake? Because he hasn't really been playing well. But he looks like he's going to take care of business in this rack, and he really needs to. He trails 8-6. And he's going to have to stretch out a little bit here, putting the extension on. I don't even know if he can reach it with the extension. He's in an awkward place on a table. I can reach it. Wow, went off in his hand. He's really unhappy about how he's playing.
Yeah, well, he's left the extension on.
You can, with a high ball, even if you brush to 10, you'll be all right.
Could go by the 10, though.
What's he doing? He's struggling so bad. Look at him, he's shaking his head.
Yeah,
No,
nothing just naturally happening easy for him, right?
No, he's got to get through this rack and one more for him to get back into form. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wasn't too sure at first.
I'm certainly sure he's glad that's over. And he only trails by one game now. I believe he's breaking the balls here.
No, he won the lag, so Gorst will break here in game number 16. Who, Gorst, has struggled with the break as far as making balls. He made a ball last time, though. So, or maybe it was 2 times ago when he kind of fluked the 10 in after missing the 2 ball. Carried the 6 into the 10. You can see some safety performance averages by the 2 guys. Safeties played. Pretty good percentage there. And the thing is, that's scored on a snooker basis, right? So you talk about the 10-footer. Sometimes you play to where you're not really snookering the opponent, right? On a 10-footer, you're just playing a lot of distance.
Right. You don't get credit for it.
Right. So he really unloaded last time.
He sure did.
Didn't back off.
Yeah,
He's got them all. Now watch the extension through the cue ball. Really important to get what you want. He's fluked the 6 in. The cue ball and the 1 are going to be okay. The 2's on the end rail, so he's going to have to make a nice shot on the 1, not only to pocket the 1, but to somehow get a manageable position for the 2.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy at all.
He practiced this shot while he was warming up with extreme inside kill. Not saying you're going to hold too great, but
he's got to hit the 1 pretty thin with that inside kill, or he's not going to get much effect with it.
Well, my point is you're going to come up the table, but you're going to get a cuttable 2 ball. You're not going to get straight. That's
then
for
I don't
sure,
like inside. Then
he's going to let it run. He's going to let it run with a high ball. So watch outside pocket. He thinks he can get past the side very easily.
What are you talking? The 2s? What do you mean?
Well, he's coming 4 rails by the 8 with the cue ball. Watch. Now watch outside pocket. He thinks he can get past the side easily, but this ball hooks a little bit. So he's got to hit it clean and don't overhit the ball. Coming 4 rails between the 9-10. Or the 10-5, I mean. Yeah, had to take a chance, Billy.
Oh, wow, what a nice shot. I would be afraid to gamble that. And it really wasn't much of a gamble other than making sure you get a good, precise hit on the 1 ball.
Well, yeah, that. And I think in your youth you were shooting at that one, Billy. I think you become a little more reserved.
Well, the thing is I'm so reserved now that I forgot the shot. And that's true, because that's not even in my repertoire. I'm not shooting that shot anymore, so I don't even acknowledge it.
Well, you got to reflect back to when you would have shot it, Billy. That's
how many
what
years
makes
ago
you the
that
great
was? You can't
commentator
remember.
you
I
are.
don't remember that far back.
Okay. All right, stop shot here, it looks like. Better a tall man can reach that easily.
Yeah, you got to keep that angle.
Yeah, you shouldn't use but 1 rail here, just pulling the ball towards the 5. Got a few options on the 7, depending, Just don't get extreme on the 5. You can handle a little angle one way or another. You can handle straight in and draw on the cue ball back with 8 over the side, right?
I think he's got to play on the inside of the 5 and go around the 7.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a perfect place, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't get involved in trying to get a definite angle here. I would, like I said, draw this ball and get nice and heavy on the 5 regardless. There's no reason to try and get a ton of angle on this with the 7 very accessible, the 8 over the opposite side.
Now, I don't like this. I don't like this angle as well as I like going around the 7, because he's got to go with inside English. If he opts to play this, yeah, he does.
Can't go straight top here?
I don't.
Back to where he's at right now?
He's allowed to go right into the 10.
Maybe.
That's why he's going to probably favor the left side of the cue ball here, and I don't like that. I'd rather favor the right side of the cue ball.
I think he'll go with the right side of the cue ball before inside and go and force going around the 7.
But I think the angle's a little flat for him to do that.
It is a little bit, but still manageable.
Yes, and that's what I would do. See, that's what I would do, but he wasn't able to do it because the angle was awkward. Had he had more of an angle, then it plays natural.
No, I get it.
That's why I said I would play the foot to the inside of the 5 there. And I think he's fortunate to have landed where he did. Now this ball is very makeable. It's missable, but it's very makeable. And when you misplay,
he kind of punched that ball though. He didn't really flow through the ball like it really.
Oh, he had to hit below center.
I don't think he did really have to hit below center.
No,
myself,
I mean not much.
Yeah.
He must be straight in.
Pretty straight. He's got to worry about overdrawing it a little bit. Slid it in. Now maybe a little straight here on the 8 to where I don't know how much of the pocket he can cheat.
Well, he may have to go down table here.
Maybe just off the first rail there and take a little more shot on the 9.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's roll it.
He's
got himself in a tough spot because the 9 doesn't pass the 10 in the other pocket.
He used 2 cushions here, cheating the pocket on the 8. Yeah, he used the 1 rail. Well, he's a worker. You know, he'll work through the rack. He won't try and make a grave mistake to try and improve his position a little bit. One thing a lot of players should really pay attention to: don't try to make it all up in one shot.
Playing a little more conservative then.
Yeah, piece a few shots together to get yourself back in line. Don't think it's got to come right now. There are occasions where you got to do it right then, but it's not as often as you think. Really bread and butter here, just a long pot here. Looks like he's going to extend that lead to 9-7. Approaching the end of the match, so Alex Pagulayan to break in game number 17, but he needs to put something together.
Mm-hmm. You got the 1 in the side, and that's the first time I think the head ball went into the side pocket in this match.
Yeah, well,
they haven't been playing that shot. Why is it? Well, it's on a 5x10. Maybe that's the reason why, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of why I think they're missing the second balls occasionally that they play out of the rack when they break head on. Long shot on the 2. He's just got to level out and knock it in. It really looks like the winning shot here in game number 17. There's a lot of work still.
Well, don't you go with a high ball here?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think I like his chances better with the high ball. Yeah, I don't. It's weird. He made a couple really nice shots a rack ago with the high ball, just leveling out, and I'm really surprised he didn't recognize it there.
He's really playing subpar pool for who he is. I mean, he's an excellent shot maker, but there's certainly hasn't been the case in this particular match. He has missed a lot of balls.
Yeah. The 6 this is a funny little safety here. I don't know what the shot is here. I mean, you hate to dead roll your ball. You could roll the 2 into the 9 and just glide the cue ball by the 6, trying to let the 2 replace the 9. Tough shot. There's a lot of other things that I just don't see You know, he'd like to come off the top of the 2, but where's the 2 going if he goes in between the 10-7 with the cue ball? The 2 can't get banked back up, it doesn't look like. I don't know what the shot is here, Billy. This looks really tough to me.
Yeah.
I don't know of a shot that appears very... It's the other one I was looking at, maybe.
What?
Can he get the 2 between the 6-9?
That's an awful lot.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the 2 into the 9,
Oh, he's
just
going to roll
coasting
it. He's
to the
going
end
to roll
rail.
it to 2 into the 6 softly. Nope. You did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tough situation he was in there.
Yeah. Now he can bank the 2 where the 4 is. Put the cue ball underneath the 6-9.
Yeah.
That seems to be pretty easy. I don't like what he did there. See a little masse here.
Yeah, I mean, no jump cues. Not terrible, though. Not terrible what Alex did right there.
He almost conceded. Can he see it?
It's close. I think you're going to see him raise the back end of his cue stick, though, I think, anyways. Yeah. He's made a couple sweet swerve shots already. We'll see what he has here.
He might be able
late
to
in the
bank
match.
this.
I think he's trying to get the 2 across, go into the 4.
Might be.
Oh, he got more on it than he
Oh,
thought.
yeah. Well, Alex should be able to get out here. Look, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, this is something he really needed, and he can't blunder here.
Little better timing there. And that's, you know, it's not uncommon where you see the timing, you know, with the top players, just like a little bit lower level players, is when they need power. Is usually whenever they try to force the issue with the stroke and really lose timing like he did on that long 2 ball to start this rack. When he decided to draw the ball, that was when the problem came, I think.
Yeah, oh, wow, yeah.
Instead of leveling out and kind of medium smoothing it in with a high ball. But we can kind of throw that behind us. It should get to 9-8 here if Alex can take care of business.
I think he should stop it right there. He should stop the ball so he can go 2 cushions around the 9. Wouldn't forward anything else but a stop right here. I don't know.
Well, he went forward just a hair for the 1 rail cushion between the 10-7.
And, well,
He felt good that he was going to hold that. There wasn't going to be any
I
problems.
guess that's okay, because if he gets straight in, he can draw
You
it
draw
back.
the ball, yeah, exactly. All right, the right-hander wants to get all the way over so he can easily reach it.
Yeah. I mean,
Still no problems.
He should draw it back about an inch or 2.
Max,
Just play
yeah.
that natural angle for the
Yeah, the 9 goes by the
9 in
10.
the same pocket as the 7's going in. That's it. That's all. No English here. Maybe a tad of left.
Just playing 1 rail,
Yeah.
which is what I stick to on this table, that's for sure. And I do that actually on most tables, to be honest with you.
He didn't, but I don't understand why.
He went into the inside.
Yeah.
That may be a little bit of what we talked about earlier in the match when we saw him put a little more confident stroke on some shots. Maybe he's recognizing he got away from that.
He said, I know he's kind of frustrated. Okay. He's clawing his way back in it, 9-8 now. Get a good hit on the break, maybe bucket a ball, get a shot, run out, tie it up, 9 apiece. And then maybe you can close this match out in style.
Well, we can see our break performance average right there. Very rough on Federer as far as making balls. He's made balls a couple times. He's had some fouls, one off the table, which is kind of not, not something that you'll see from the top players
I
very
know.
often.
Really a mishit there. Side puck.
Speak of the
He's
devil.
fouled 4 times off of his break, and he's only broken them how many times? 8.
Yeah.
He's
And,
fouled 4 times off of his break.
And it really kind of
You
shows
would think
you.
if you fouled 4 times
You'd
off
be
your
way
break in
down, huh?
17 games, you wouldn't have the lead.
That's right. Not an alternate break.
Mm-mm.
Alex going to draw the cue ball right behind him here. What's he doing here? Why is he setting up full on this?
Interesting.
Hmm.
What did he do?
I'm looking around. It seems like there's got to be a better way to play this ball in hand than from here. Maybe not. Maybe the way the lay of the balls are, there's not really a better position to put the cue ball with ball in hand, but you would like to not have to use the bridge with ball in hand.
Oh, wow. That was pretty risky.
No, it's just showing off a little bit. That's okay.
No, I think that was a little risky. Narrowly missed the 4.
He likes
coming
it.
around.
He likes that shot.
I thought he was going to play it like where he put the cue ball. I thought he was going to play one
1-2
rail
rails.
straight down. How'd he do? Is he offline here,
Oh, he's
or
fine.
can he stop?
He's fine. He should be able to hold it well enough. He can draw to the side rail. He can go forward. The 4 does have 2 pockets.
Mm-hmm. You can go on the side with it if he likes.
Looks like he's stunning up for the side to me.
He can't get in line. He really can't get where he needs to get for it to make it like real easy.
Yeah.
And when you get out of line on a 5x10, it's not easy to get back in line.
Well, I'll tell you another thing. Side pockets, to me, lean towards a little bit more of that. Just falling a hair short, a hair long to make things awkward. Just aren't as easy to plan behind or rely on position play as it seems the corners are to me. But a great recovery there.
Okay, now he would like to get pretty straight on the 6.
Yeah.
But if he gets too straight, he's going to have to use the bridge or the extension. He's going to have to use the extension here. He don't like that. But, he's going to have to do it then. Because he plays with the bridge pretty good, though,
Oh, real well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like a little bounce here off this. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
I think he can reach it with the extension easy. He's going to try to reach it without the extension.
Yeah, I
No,
think
he's going to use the bridge here.
Yeah, the weight of the cue, that extra weight may have really thrown him off at times. So I like him using the bridge here.
Well, yeah, providing that he's good with the bridge, which he is, once again, evidence with the
Excellent
results.
with the
Yeah. Now he needs to be straight in on the 8.
And he got a little more out of the cue ball. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be upset with that. I like the stroke he made right there with the bridge. Very confident. So kind of like we talked about yesterday or the day before. Maybe it was me and Mark. If his opponent would have left him there, he would be in love with having that shot on the 7. But since it's something you left yourself, it's very psychological.
Oh,
that you
yeah.
don't get so happy.
Yeah. You just got to brush it off and pretend you were left it.
Right.
Oh.
little thick to the pocket.
Well, he's going to tie this match up, and then he's going to be
breaking
the balls.
Alex Pagulayan. You see he's raised the TPA up over 850. Of course, falling a little bit from our last report to 809.
Well, he's fouled 4 times on the break, and it's really affected the TPA a lot.
Yeah, Alex, who made the one on the break in his last break off, he missed a long 2-ball. Both felt he maybe should have followed
it, yeah. And I think you're a little more accurate, too, following it, because you don't have to hit it as hard, and you're going to get a better hit on the cue ball.
No, absolutely. I mean, everything gets a little better, even though we all like to draw the ball in certain shots, but everything gets a little better. Your touch gets a little better. Everything gets a little better with the high ball.
Oh, he didn't even. The 1 ball's going to. No, the 1's not going to. The 9? Yeah, the 9's going to go.
Ooh,
but
a 210.
He didn't even open those balls up. He just, boop.
Yeah, that's kind of how he broke. He really cut the 1 whenever I was talking about in Iowa when he got in stroke and really kind of played unreal, kind of out of this world kind of pool. Definitely going to play a 210 combo to get on the hill
for sure.
here. And he can shoot it from distance. Don't fool around and get snooker trying to get real close. Or at least I wouldn't. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just draw this ball back in case you miss it.
Yeah.
Or maybe just concentrate on making it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much confusion here. Just
maybe drawing the ball back is the wrong thing to do.
I would just draw it just because I like the strike on it, and I'm not going to have anything goofy happen with the cue ball.
He might make the 6, too.
Yeah, 6 is going to get overcut a little bit, I think.
You think so?
I think so. Oh, wow. It didn't even come close on the 10, though, and I just don't get that. Oh, my. There you go. Fedor Gorst, as great a, player he is, just kind of laughing it off with Alex and the fans.
And, and he's got that mindset and that good attitude that, what can you do about it?
Yeah, exactly.
And accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's just the way the game's played,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, including myself, that what the heck is happening here?
Yeah, right.
Why does this happen to me? Only me.
Well, it's like Shane earlier talked about a few players yesterday that every time they broke the balls and a ball got a little tied up or maybe they didn't have as good a shot, they'd really go through a big process of kind of complaining to themselves, making a bunch of faces where you see a guy like Shane, he might occasionally, if it happens time and time again, get a little frustrated, but normally he wants to accept that challenge of a something tough. And I think Federer's kind of the same way. He just kind of chalks it up and says, hey, sometimes I get a roll, sometimes my opponent does.
But what a luxury that is to have that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I mean,
That's
would
that processing,
take so much stress away from you.
Right.
Oh, boy. And
no coincidence, right?
In turn, your speed would you would get the most out of your game.
That's what I mean. No coincidence why he's one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to back off here, I don't think. Even though he lost the cue ball in the last. Oh, man, it's been a lot of just dry breaks.
It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's just not happening. It's right. Little bitty piece of the one here.
It's hard to accept this shot the way that it lays now.
What do you do? Try to cut it in?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to accept it.
I don't know if he has enough piece of the one to really do anything else besides maybe take a chance at making it. He's going to push. So
Well, put the 2 in the tough spot and leave him a cut on the wall. No. What's he doing?
Moving the 10 a little bit just because of the cue ball position, I guess he wants. Oh, no, I didn't see the 5 in the way there. Oh, okay, trying to
that's
reposition
dead
the
now.
5. No, that's not dead.
No.
But it is playable, though, still. I'm curious what the genius is here on this rollout. Now, does he feel the 1 is going to come off the 6 enough to get to the left side rail and with the top English kind of make the cue ball kind of hug and get behind the 7-9? I'm really curious what he does here.
This is too advanced for me.
Well, I think that's the shot he's going to shoot. A high ball. Let the 1 come off the 6 over and watch the cue ball come behind the 7-9. Oh, he hit it too light. You have to hit that a little bit. You know what I mean? To make it kind of like hug a little bit to get behind it.
To get the cue ball to deflect
exactly.
back behind those balls.
Yeah, he hit it too easy. I think that's the route he was going, though.
Evidently it was. Because I don't know what else he was trying to do.
Well, now he's got to watch out for the pink 4. Is it the 4 that's really kind of impeding this 3-rail shape on the 2? I think he goes around the 6. I think he beats the 7.
He might be able to bank it.
Well, I don't think he'll do
bank
that.
it and draw it.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. Hit it wide.
He missed the bank.
And so Alex is going to get that open opportunity on the 1.
And this is Outsville here. I can see he's going to get out here. When the 5 to the 6 is a problem. So he's got to get good on the 5.
If the 4 wasn't there, he could shoot the 1 and then play the 2 and come across and bump them balls and have a decent little cut on the 3.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. You're thinking really ahead there.
I think he just holds this, right? I don't think he even goes to the rail.
No.
On the slick felt, you can cheat this angle and really hold the ball. Straight draw. Wow, nice stroke. Now, does he dig on this, or does he just come across and take the cut on the 3? I like just coming across myself. Get to that right side rail where he's standing right there.
I think he can draw it into the 4 almost.
I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. I like just the high ball here. I mean, the 3's pretty thick.
Yeah, he's too thin on the 2 to do that. Yeah,
the 3's pretty thick from this right side rail. He doesn't, I thought he would get a hair more out of it than that, but still, he's okay.
Yeah, just to make sure that he clears the 4, that's all. 3's right in front of the pocket. It's natural right down to play the 4 on the side. It'll keep him on the right side of the 4 to play shape for the 5 as well, providing he has good speed of the cue ball here.
Yeah, so you're saying put a hair of inside here?
Yeah, and make sure you fall underneath the 4. You don't want to fall on top of it.
I think he was looking at that he could draw off of the 5 if need be. Oh, he's perfect.
Yeah, he's in good shape here.
He can come 1 rail between the 8-10 back up for that nice angle on the 5 to get on the 6. I think, anyways.
He would like to, I don't know.
Maybe a tip of right here, Billy?
Wouldn't it be nice if he could just take the place of the 8?
That's what I mean. Just 1 rail. It looks like to me he falls maybe 6 inches below the 8.
No, he don't have to hit the rail. He don't have to hit the rail.
Oh, I think he does. I think he's much thinner than you thought he was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Now he's overhit it a skosh. Now he's going to have to draw into the 8-ish and then take the cut on the 6.
Yeah, that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to. Well, I don't think he's going into the 8. Do you think he's going into the 8?
Well, ish. It's going that area.
Yeah,
I don't think he can get past the side easily unless he uses a hit on the 10.
I think he's going to go around the 8.
Maybe.
Brush the 10 and go around the 8.
He went into the 8.
Yeah.
But he cleared a nice path for the cue ball, though. So that helps coming up and down.
Looks like he's going to have to put some. Oh man, this is not that easy. He's got to put some inside on it because he's going toward the 10 here.
Yeah, not a lot though.
Maybe he can go to the outside of the 10.
Nah, I think
it favors to go to the outside of the 10.
Right side of the 10 easily. To be honest with you. Yeah. And now he's just got to rely on his cueing a little bit from some 7 feet away. He's got to work the cue ball, so that does close the pocket up a little bit on the 7.
What I think
so he's
he
got to
should
hit
do
it
here?
well.
I think he should just pocket the ball
Follow,
and
right?
take whatever shot he ends up on the 8. Just hit it with good speed. Get fairly close to the 8, a couple feet away. Just pocket the ball and see if he can get out. That's all. That's it. Just pocket the ball. Whatever angle he gets, he gets.
He's fine now. So, you know how it is, Billy. Sometimes you get away with these. You know, the great players, they really think about what happened during the match, and possibly we'll see Alex Pagulayan in the final here. You never know. But I've seen it many times when the true champions struggle a little bit on a match. They certainly learn how to rebound.
That's about as good as you can get right there.
Yeah, he can reach it and everything.
Yeah.
No extension needed, which is good.
He's going to go to the center diamond, maybe. That's
yeah,
it.
Don't think you got to get way down there, but
No.
you know. Yeah, that's what I like. Making sure everything works out just fine. Little cut shot on the 10. And again, we're going to lose another great champion in Fedor Gorst, but another one rolls and moves on into the next round, that being Alex the Lion Pagulayan. I'm not sure who's next. Really enjoyed it, Billy Incardona.
Yeah. I as well.
Always sad to see us losing Federer in the tournament, but he'll be in the 9-ball, of course. And another match coming soon. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. More of the Bigfoot Challenge from Norfolk coming soon.